Welcome to the great state of Utah, where a wise man once said, this is the place. Provo, and we're ready for Big 12 football on Fox as Arizona comes into town. The high-flying Cats to take on the undefeated and 14th ranked BYU Cougars. Hi, everybody. I'm Gus Johnson, along with the quarterback, Joel Klatt. And welcome to Provo, folks. How about BYU? Coming into this season, they were picked to finish at the bottom of the Big 12 standings. Different story, 5-0, big wins over SMU on the road against Kansas State right here in Provo. And right now, Kalani Sitake has his team rolling. They're a gritty bunch led by a gritty quarterback.
I love this kid, right? Jake Retzlaff is playing his best football of his career, and that shows. It's a big reason why this team is 5-0. Number 12 has come in here and solidified this offense. Didn't play great last year, was 0-4 in the starter. He's come in this year. He's 5-0 as a starter. 12 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. I think he's going to have to play really well today because there's a good chance that they're going to get in a bit of a shootout. Why? Well, Arizona can light up the scoreboard with their quarterback wide receiver combination. Noah Fafita had huge expectations on his shoulders at the beginning of this season, and to be fair, they've fallen a bit short of that with 2 losses. He's got to take care of the football, and he's also got to target this guy, Teteroa McMillan. Gus, we are in for a treat. I'm telling you right now, there are very few better players in college football than number 4. He's big, he's physical. They're going to target him quite a bit in this game. Can't wait to watch T-Mac.
Time for today's game countdown, sponsored by Progressive. In a series that dates back to a 1936 meeting in Tucson, the teams have split 25 meetings, 12 up with 1 tie, although BYU has won the last 3. Here at LaVell Edwards Stadium. We're ready for Arizona and BYU. Time now to join the 3rd member of our team. You know who she is on the sideline. Let's go downstairs to Jenny Tabb.
If you're a BYU fan, this team this season is something to be excited about. You guys already mentioned it. They're undefeated. They're 5-0. They've already won as many games this season as they did last year. And yesterday when we sat down with head coach Kalani Sitake, we asked him what's different. Well, first of all, he said we figured out how to be successful in the Big 12. He said we were new to the conference last year, and yeah, it took a little getting used to. Now we understand what it will take. He also said the culture and senior leadership of this team is crucial. One of those veterans is defensive end Tyler Batty, and yesterday he told me all year we've been saying it. We need to correct the narrative. Last year we weren't good enough. We missed out on a bowl. It was not up to our standards. He said every player on this team committed to get better on the field, committed to getting better in the weight room, and you're seeing that on display. Batty told me we're a bunch of guys who love to play the game of football. We are not done yet, but we want to continue to show college football what we are all about.
All right, thank you very much, Jenny. What a day, folks. Perfect football weather. 79 degrees. Last week we were in the mountains. This week we're in the mountains again. Last week we were at Penn State. Now that brings on Jake Retzlaff. And I tell you what, here's a young man that went the junior college route. Now the starting quarterback with this BYU team. He's shown some grit. He's got a dual threat capability.
He's also got a brand new center today. Starting his first game as center is Bruce Mitchell. And this is a guy that's only played 2 games on the offensive line in his career. It's something they're worried about. The snap, the cadence, all of it.
On first down, play action. Retzlaff steps up in the pocket, lets it go, incomplete. He had some pressure on that backside. So offensively for the Cougars, what do they want to do today?
Well, they've got to figure out this offensive line. It starts with Bruce Mitchell at the center position. Austin Leusa, he's going to move in at right guard. They've got to figure out if they can protect the passer here early and potentially run the ball. And they do get Gus L.J. Martin back in the backfield. He would have been their normal starter, but they've had to go by committee up to this point. L.J. Martin back in the lineup. He's their best back, and they've got to establish that run game.
Went out after the first game of the season, hasn't played since with an ankle injury. And they'll complete it near side. That's Chase Roberts. Roberts will get upfield. He's a first down machine. Gains 12.
Because this Arizona defense, they've been decent. I think their front is their best part of their defense. Trey Smith is the guy that really leads them up front. He's a transfer from San Jose State, an excellent player up front. Jacob Manu, this is the guy that is a tackle machine at the second level and the heartbeat of the team. They do have two safeties out. Gunnar Maldonado and Trayden Stukes are out in this game. So you'll see Genesis Smith, number 12. He gets the start. It'll be something to watch for, these safeties in the middle of the field for Arizona.
Genesis Smith is a ball player, folks. He says he's a chess piece. You can put him anywhere on the board underneath. That's a completion. Close to another first down by guess who? Chase Roberts. Coming into this game, 18 of his 21 catches have been for first downs. Make that 19 of 23 now.
Well, and that's that big frame. Chase Roberts, Gus, is 6'4", 210 pounds, and you know that Jake Retzloff is comfortable throwing it to number 2. This is a guy that has 21 catches coming into this game, but as you mentioned, he's a first down machine for him, and this one just shy, and they'll be, what, second down here?
Opening series for the Cougars, 2nd down and 1 at the 46. Retzloff, he'll run it. Here's the option. They pitch it, and it's Ropati. Gets up the sideline. He'll get into Arizona territory with the 5-yard gain. Jacob Manu with the tackle.
Let's look at the Geico Get More game plan, sponsored by Geico. Get more with Geico. You look at these two teams, and for BYU, I think they need to run into the passing game. I think Jake Retzloff is best when he's in play action pass. That's what the stats bear out. That's when he's most effective. For Arizona, they got to make it count in these drives. This team in their last game against Texas Tech, they marched up and down the field and really squandered those possessions in the red zone. Only one of their 4 possessions in the red zone did they score touchdowns. They've got to make those series count today if they're able to move the ball.
Had to really adjust last year. Got off to a good start, but then at the end, Coach Sataki's team lost their last 5 games, and that's one of the reasons that many of these veteran players came back. They're looking for targeting on this, so take a look.
So here's that tackle. That's Jacob Manu, and
that would be bad.
That would be terrible. Like I said, referencing the defense, he's not just the key to this defense. He's the heartbeat of the team.
He's the quarterback of this defense in particular.
And Gus, what they're looking at,
that looks like a clear targeting to me. Well, I hope it's not.
Rapati is not defenseless, so this has to be crown of the helmet. It has to be the 6 inches right on top of the helmet that they're looking at.
Mikey Rulebooks, our rules analyst, joins us. Mike, what do you see?
I would agree, and I say a good job by replay stopping this, because what you're looking for, as Joel said, this is not a defenseless player, so it's got to be that 6-inch radius right on the top. When he's making the contact, watch, is the head down.
Here comes the call, Mike. Hold on.
After review, personal foul, targeting number 5 of the defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. Number 5 is disqualified for the remainder of the game.
That's just brutal. It's just such a...
How come that can't be interpreted?
Well, listen,
I mean, it's just too officious.
I totally agree with you. And listen, that's targeting. Throw a flag, penalize him. But the fact that it's just one and done, and now he's done for the rest of the game.
Here's the rules.
They've got to fix that. Again, the penalty of targeting, like I said, crown of the helmet, 6-inch radius from the top of the helmet right there. And now Manu's out. The ejection is what's the problem here, the disqualification. If you want to make the game safer, certainly make that a penalty, and that by the letter of the law is a targeting. So throw a flag and give BYU 15 yards. Don't put Manu on the bench for the rest of the game. Someone needs to fix that.
They have to fix that. First down for BYU. And they'll complete it. Nicely done. Keelan Marion with the reception. That's a gain of 11.
I'll tell you, if they get some protection out of Keelan Marion like that, tight window throw over the middle, about to get hit, then this offense could really take the next step. Chase Roberts and Darius Lassiter, Gus, those are the known commodities at wide receiver for BYU, but if they can start getting some of these younger guys, or this transfer Keelan Marion comes in from UConn, if they can get them going, then this offense might take that next step.
LJ Martin comes in at running back now. He wears number 27. First down and 10 at the 23. Retzloff in trouble. He'll just sling it up the field. Out of bounds and incomplete. Miles Davis, the intended receiver.
I think in the entirety of the Big 12, what you're seeing, you saw this last night in that Utah-Arizona State game, is that you see teams move the football. But Gus, this is when it counts, right? When you get down into the scoring area. I understand we're not inside the 20, but to me, this is the scoring area. And the offenses have to execute, and the defenses got to find a way to present some pressure on the quarterback. That's what you saw on the last snap from Arizona.
5 passes on this drive, only 1 run thus far. 2nd and 10 at the 23. Ropati in the backfield. Retzlaff, he'll run it straight ahead. He's rugged. And he'll dive forward, get close to that first down marker. Gain 7 on the play. Brown, closest man to him defensively for Zona.
Such an effective weapon with his legs in their last game. Now, they were off last week, but in their last game against Baylor, Gus, you and I both commented in the preparation for this game, this guy, he's not the fastest or most elusive runner, but like you said, he's rugged, he's willing, and those yards are huge yards here.
He told us in our meeting with him yesterday at the BYU facility, if I could just relax and have fun, that's when I'm at my best. 3rd and 3 at the 16. To BYU get 6. Here's Retzlaff, first down. He's got swift feet, folks. Last week, as you mentioned, Joel, good running game, 6 carries, 53 yards.
What you get right here is that the end crashes down quickly, and so that's why he doesn't give the ball to Ropati in the backfield, and he takes it out on the outside himself. That cutback, though, right there, that takes a little bit of courage, because you know the pursuit of the defense is coming from the middle of the field, and he understands he needs to get small, get down, in particular once he gets that first down.
6'1", 205 he's listed at. We talked to him yesterday. He said he's about 210, 211 right now, so built for the ruggedness of this game as a runner. And they'll run it around the left side. Reiner Swanson, he's a freshman. They're very high on this kid, and he'll pick up some positive yards.
Yeah, anytime that 80 is in the game, Gus, something is going on, and they're going to try to get him the ball. He's a true freshman from Laguna Beach High School in Southern California. You see those blonde locks. All the players, his teammates were like, oh, yeah.
Hey, he looks like you.
He's a surfer boy, right?
Yeah.
It's, listen, but he's fast, and he's one of the highest recruits that they've gotten in a long time. He's a tight end that they have to get the ball to, but when they bring him in because of his youth, normally he's targeted with the football. I think that Arizona will key on that during the course of the game.
10th play of the drive that started at the BYU 25-yard line. 2nd and 12 at the 13. And they will run it with Ropati. Misdirection there.
I tell you, this is a great play by Arizona. Watch both linebackers fly over the top, and that takes away both backs that are going towards that side, and it leaves the end for the quarterback. That's a really good job by Arizona, and guess who's celebrating? Jacob Manu, still in it on the sideline, watching his brothers out there trying to make a stop.
Dominic Lolesio with the tackle. 3rd down and 13. At the 14-yard line, Ropati remains in the backfield with Retzlaff. Retzlaff underneath, caught. They'll turn it up with Darius Lassiter. This kid, folks, is terrific. Darius Lassiter against Baylor a couple of weeks ago, 8 catches, 120 yards, and a touchdown. He's from Chandler, Arizona.
Have to throw it short of the sticks. Thought the defensive backs here did a nice job staying on top of those routes and then rallying up to make the tackle. And you're right, Lassiter does make it tough on him, and he fights for extra yardage. And they're going to keep the offense on the field here, Gus.
So that'll make it 4th down and 4 at the Arizona 5 opening series for BYU. Arizona's lost their captain and best defensive player in Jacob Manu. Retzlaff sprints out, buys time. Retzlaff, incomplete.
Wow, what a hold for Arizona. In a series that BYU goes right down the field, they get a 4th down stop. They lose their heartbeat, but Brent Brennan, his Wildcats held strong. They have the ball when we come back.
8-0. Welcome back to LaVell Edwards Stadium. Spectacular day here in Provo. Noah Fafita, Pac-12 freshman of the year a season ago, had a spectacular year. Different story this year, a little slow to start.
I think that the burden of expectations is heavy, Gus, and he felt that. This team felt that when he made the announcement that he was going to come back to Tucson and play for the Wildcats. and it just hasn't quite gone as they hope. I think he forces the ball too much. If he stays away from turnovers, this is a very potent offense.
First down and 10 at the 5-yard line. Fafita to throw out of his own end zone, hit as he throws it incomplete. Now here's the deal with Arizona, folks, as we take a look at their starting offense.
Well, this offensive line has given up far too much pressure in Fafita's face. You saw the pressure right there on their first snap. Fafita getting pressured in the end zone. But on the outside, guys, Tetero McMillan is the real deal. They got to target him and target him and target him. Number 4 is going to be double covered, but there are times with his 6'5" frame, you got to throw it to him anyways.
Second down and 10 at the 5-yard line. And folks, when they say number 4 is the real deal, it's legit. Out in the flats, and this one is turned up, and that's Burnett. Kean Burnett, who played at Servite High School with Fafita, and McMillan makes the grab, a gain of 15 defensively for the Cougs.
I think the real heartbeat of this 5-0 start has been the Cougar defense, and namely their defensive line. You know, Tyler Batty is a guy that we talked to. Jenny talked about him there in the open. He's been tremendous, number 92. And in the back end, these corners, they're short, and that's going to be a bad matchup against Tetero and McMillan. Both Jacob Robinson and Mark Collins are 5'11".
First down and 10 at the 20-yard line. Quali Connolly comes in the game. They'll give it to him. He runs straight ahead. Power running. He'll pick up a first down and even more. Here's a man that had 14 carries, 97 yards, touchdown, 7 catches, 39 yards in his last game. He'll gain 13.
Yeah, the statistics wouldn't say that they're a great running team, but I'm telling you, it's more effective on film than you think.
First down at the 33. Fafita rolling out of the pocket, takes his time, and he'll throw this one out of play. Now, Joel, last year's group at Arizona went 10-3, including winning their final 7 games, and finished with a win over Oklahoma in the Alamo Bowl. And they finished ranked 11th at the end of the year. That was great, but then everybody left. Their head coach, their offensive coordinator, their defensive coordinator, and some of the star players went to the NFL.
Yeah, and listen, it's hard to replace everything that they're missing, including, I think, a big one is Jacob Cowing. They don't have really that wide receiver opposite Tetero McMillan to take the defense's attention to the other side of the field.
Second and 10 at the 33. Fafita bouncing around in the pocket. Reverses. Looking. Eyes up. Now he'll tuck it, run, continue to run, and pick up a first down. Nicely done. Noah Fafita, first down. Zona.
You've got to feel the pressure as a quarterback. Gus, watch, he's got his eyes downfield, but watch as he's able to just kind of spin out of this pressure. Eyes downfield, and then there he sees it last second, and he's able to spin out and makes a great decision to use his legs, and he does so for a first down.
First down at the 44, opening series for Arizona. As their defense turned away, BYU on their opening series inside the red zone. Here's the handoff. A little bit of running room. That'll be a gain of 6.
You know, something I'm watching for today is that they have a lot of respect for this defensive front 7 of BYU. And offensively for Arizona, they know that they need to run the ball in order to slow down the pass rush and keep them off of Fafita in the backfield. So what they're going to do is spread out in order to run. And those are things, you know, this is an empty set, so probably not a run formation. And now they'll get Rossano back in the backfield with Fafita.
Caden Luke running the ball the last time. Second and forward midfield. Fafita sprints out, sets, bounces, and he'll just dump it out of bounds.
BYU dropping 8 in coverage there. Kind of a soft 3-man, kind of 4-man rush, 7 in coverage, and now it's third down, and you've got to look to your best players on third down. You look at the matchup for Tetero McMillan. If he's doubled, somebody else has to make a play. Maybe it's Burnett. We've already seen him with a nice catch today.
Third down and 4 at midfield.
Watch for a little delay out of McMillan. He's at the top of your screen.
Here's Fafita, needs to get to the 46. That one deflected. Flag on the play as well. Not enough for a first down. T-Mac with the reception. But let's see.
I wonder if that motion was going towards the line of scrimmage at the snap.
And then that's what you're seeing as well. Maury Bamba has come in the game. You talked about those small DBs for BYU, but Bamba, redshirt junior, he's 6'3".
Yeah, and
illegal motion, offense number 84. 5-yard penalty, replay third down.
Bamba missed the first 4 games with injury. He's a JUCO guy. There's number 4. There's Maury Bamba. But you're right, he's 6'3", and then he gets the matchup out there to the wide side against Teteroa. There's that delay. When they get him in that stack set, Gus, you see how there was a wide receiver in front of McMillan, and he's kind of stacked behind him in the alignment? That's when he likes to slow release off the line of scrimmage. But BYU saw it on film. They knew what was coming, and Bamba was right there.
3rd down and 9 at the 45 instead of 3rd down and 4 for Arizona. Opening series. Here comes a blitz. Cats pick it up. Fafita looks for the long ball down the field, and it's caught. T-Mac at the 15. That's a gain of 39.
I tell you, this route is incredible. T-Mac just bends out to the outside, and the safety bites. Watch McMillan as he runs this route. You know it's a rollout to the right, and he bends this right. You see that in the safety bid on that? That's Tanner Wall, and he creates all sorts of space. How does number 4 get that open on a 3rd and long? It happens with a great route.
This drive starting at the 5-yard line. 1st down and 10 at the 16 for Arizona. Coming off that disappointing home loss last week to Texas Tech. They'll hand it off. And some running room for Conley. I like the way this Conley is running the football.
Yeah.
His first year at Arizona after 3 at Utah Tech and 1 at San Jose State. He came over with Coach Brennan.
I mean, last year he was almost a 1,000-yard rusher, 9 touchdowns at San Jose State, and he has run the ball effectively. Last game they didn't get to the run too much because they were trying to come back in that Texas Tech game. But this is where they struggled, Gus, is down in the red area inside the 20-yard line.
10th play of the drive, 2nd and 7. Another run for Conley, and they'll sling him down around the 9 of scrimmage. And that tackle made by the Batman, Tyler Patty.
Patty is an excellent player. I loved our conversation with Patty. And this is a grown man. He's 25 years old.
Married.
Yeah, he's married. Went on his mission to Madrid. He comes back and he's playing his best football. I thought he underperformed last year in what he thought was going to be his last year at BYU, but he's been tremendous this year so far. A real heartbeat player for their defense, and in particular their defensive line.
3rd down and 8 at the 14. Fafita out of the gun. Fafita underneath, caught. Touchdown Arizona. Montana, Lamonius Craig, the senior from Inglewood, California. And as you mentioned, partner, they're looking for a guy to step up. This needs to be the man.
And you know why they need that? Is because all the attention is going to be on Teteroa McMillan. There's 1 BYU Cougar, 2 and 3 that are all going to take McMillan. Watch this. And then what do you get? An open drag route underneath. There's the BYU defense focusing on number 4, and rightly so. Someone's got to step up. There's Lamonius Craig for a touchdown.
Arizona struggling in the red zone. Just 50% touchdown rate. That's 107th in FBS, but they'll take this one as they go on an 11-play drive, covering 95 yards, eating up close to 5 minutes. Arizona striking first. Lamonius Craig, or you could just call him. His team went 0-10 one year. Next year, when Lamonius got going, they went 12-1. They call him Mr. Inglewood there in Los Angeles. Big-time touchdown, 7-0. So Jake Retzlaff, number 12, back on offense with BYU when we return. Big guy.
100 miles an hour.
Oh my God, Otani hit that ball. That was like a Who's Your Daddy home run. Okay, I know you got the big mustache.
You got me the first time. You better have another pitch.
Who's your daddy?
Yeah,
first down and 10 at the 25. And they'll run it. Nice hole. With Potty with the run.
Gus, I want to go back to that last series because, you know, they had something here. This is the 4th down play. Watch right here. They've got Darius Lasser open right there at the goal line. And Retzlaff goes over and he watches the play on the iPads, which are new this year, and he goes, oh. And that's when you know as a quarterback, like, you can't make mistakes in those types of situations. So now we've got 2 teams, Gus, here. Both of them have tripped down inside the red zone. One team executed, got a touchdown. The other team didn't. That's the difference in these games.
2nd down and 2 at the 33-yard line. They'll hand it off. This time, L.J. Martin with a crease. L.J. gets to the 40, a 6-yard gain. They're so happy to have him healthy and back.
And listen, if I was BYU, I would start stressing this front for Arizona, because without Jacob Manu, you're going to go with Kamua Kaiahua, number 18 at linebacker, and Kaiahua, excuse me, is going to have the green dot. Now you're without Trayden Stukes, Maldonado, and Jacob Manu. Those are the leaders on defense. Get downhill right into the middle of that course. See what they've got right now.
Kamuela Kaiahua. We've been practicing these names, folks. I think we're going to do good today. First down and 10 at the 39.
Now you done set the expectations way too high.
I jinxed us.
Yeah, you have.
First charge timeout. BYU.
Back after this.
I need more practice.
Practice? I know you ain't talking about Utah, just the state of Utah in general. Some stars here. Fred Warner, 3-time NFL All-Pro, Hall of Famer, Super Bowl MVP, Super Bowl champion Steve Young. Puka here as well, watching his little brother Tay play. On a perfect day. Air is crisp up here. Clean, 4,500 above sea level. First and 10 at the 39. Retzlaff steps up on the move. Caught, no, incomplete. Looking for Lassiter, couldn't hold on.
And boy, you know, Lassiter last week, and they thought this was out of character, and it certainly hadn't popped up before that on film, but he had a couple of drops against Baylor in their last game, and this one he's got a shot at it, and it's, oh, that's just good defense. You know, that's not a drop. That's just really quality defense right there. I think that was Marquise Groves Killebrew came in and just knocked it out. No, that's Emmanuel Carnley, excuse me, number 23.
Second down and 10 at the 39. Retzlaff looking underneath. Nice check down. He finds his man with some running room this time. L.J. Martin out of the backfield, and he will gain 7 on the play.
L.J. Martin comes into this game and back into this lineup, and he's already been a factor, number 27 for BYU. But here on a third down, this is when you've got to get creative defensively and test that interior of the offensive line. Remember, Bruce Mitchell starting his first game at center, number 63.
Doing pretty well so far.
He is, but, you know, he hasn't been tested. As soon as Arizona figures this out, I would start sending some pressure his way.
Third down and 3 at the 46. Ropati in the backfield. Roberts the motion man. He'll come the other way. Retzlaff. First down. Lassiter with the spin, and he'll get down at the 40. Darius Lassiter. Last time out, he tied that career high with the 8 catches.
I love this. When they bring the motion, they're just going to bring it right in front of the face of the defender that's on Lassiter. And what does he have to do? Just bail a little bit. And all you need is a little bit of a space on a third and short. And you can get it to Lassiter, and he turns it up the rail and gains some positive yards there. It's a nice design for BYU.
Transfer from Eastern Michigan last year, catching 40 balls there in 2022. Gains 12. First and 10. BYU having no problems moving the ball. But can they pay it off when they get into the red zone? They'll pitch it. Cutting it inside. Ropati. Ropati picks up 2. Stanley Taufa'u with the tackle.
Yeah, Taufa'u is a guy number 47. He's a transfer from USC. And Gus, they need him to step up in a big way. 275 pounds. He's going to be leaned upon without Jacob Manu.
Takes us to the end of the first quarter. Arizona feeling good about themselves. Up 7-0, but BYU driving. Second quarter coming up from Provo. Bell Edwards Stadium. 7-0 Arizona. However, BYU with the football driving. They were turned away, turned it over on downs in their first series inside the red zone. But now, Jake Retzlaff from Corona, California, the Inland Empire, which is Southern California, trying to continue to lead the way, facing a second down and 9 at the 41. L.J. Martin, the single setback. Retzlaff bouncing, checks it down. Martin with the reception, gets to the sideline and out of bounds. Nice gain to Cario Davis, who's a terrific player, NFL player. knocks him out of play, gain of 6.
Yeah, nice job here, because watch everyone drop out of this, and you're not going to have anywhere to go downfield with the ball. So Retzlaff looks, and then boom, gets to the check down, drops down. That's his shortstop background, Gus. You see him drop down almost like he's turned a double play. He's played shortstop, middle infield. He's got that type of arm angle that he can go down low, and he gets a completion and a short yardage opportunity.
Kinesiology major here at BYU, so he's studying nutrition. Gave us some good cues on supplements yesterday. Retzlaff, short throw, almost intercepted. Tacario Davis almost had one as he smiles. Just couldn't hold on.
Yeah, Fakahuna, that one just kind of went right up off of his shoulder right here. And generally, tips and overthrows, they wind up in the hands of the defense. And Tacario Davis, it was right there for him, and then he just cannot secure it. My goodness, and on a third down, that would have been a huge play. But here, BYU again, second time this game, they're going for it on fourth down.
Fourth down and 3 at the 35. Here they go. Here's the option. Sideline. Enough for the first down and more. L.J. Martin will gain 15 on 4th and 3.
This is a great job because this is the pitch player. He's the middle linebacker. So as soon as you can get this running back outside, there's no one there for him. They block him with the tackle, that middle linebacker, and then it's an easy first down. Nice shot by Retzlaff. That end's got to come upfield. That's Trey Smith. He pitches it off of Trey Smith, and it's an easy run right there for the first.
It will make it first down and 10 at the 20. 10th play coming up, which started at the BYU 25. Retzlaff in the corner, caught, touchdown, Cougars. Chase Roberts. No, make that Parker Kingston.
This is an incredible throw. Just to the corner right here from the slot, and he's looking over his inside shoulder, and then he's just got to fight for it. And he's able to do that. Owen Goss is in coverage. He was a transfer from Colgate. And as they go to the ground, the ball is bumbling around there. But there you see Kingston with the reception. They're just going to see if he controlled that before they rolled over onto the white. That's the thing I would be concerned about if I was a BYU fan right here, is did he control that ball before they actually slid out of bounds? Great throw from Retzlaff. They battled for it right there with Owen Goss, the defensive back. But the question is, did Kingston actually control it before they went out?
Looks like he had it to me, Parker.
Yeah, that's it right there. Yeah, I agree. No, right there. I think you're right, Gus. That was control when he was on his back, yeah? And that's the confirmation from replay there, and they'll kick the extra point.
Extra point up and good. Second career touchdown for Kingston. First this year, only 3 catches coming into today's game. But he'll take it. He's got a swag going on here in Provo. Affected by Hurricane Milton and Helene, urgently need your support. Help the American Red Cross provide meals and shelter to people when they need it most. Donate today to Hurricane Milton and Helena by going to redcross.org or calling 1-800-RED-CROSS. Kingston with a touchdown to level this game up at 7 here in the second quarter.
3 long drives. Each offense now. 2 long drives from BYU. They got stopped on fourth down right there at the goal line on their first series. Arizona went right down the field. They scored, and they get the ball right back.
Will Farron will kick it away. He was the kicker and punter at Boise State a couple of years ago. Jeremiah Patterson lets it go into the end zone for a touchdown.
Let's go above and beyond. Sponsored by Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above and beyond when this guy's in the game. It's Teteroa McMillan. 37 catches, 132 yards per game, 4 touchdowns. All 4 of those touchdowns actually came in the opener. Last year, he was a third-team All-American after that tremendous season that Arizona had, finishing with 10 wins, a win over Oklahoma in that Alamo Bowl. Like I said, Gus, he's going to be double and triple covered at times. So Fafita's got to be smart. When do you want to take your chances to number 4, and when do you have to go elsewhere? We saw him go elsewhere for the touchdown, but on the 3rd and long, they got it to 4.
They compare him to Mike Evans, the former star wide receiver for Texas A&M and the star wide receiver for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 1st and 10 of the 25. This one, nice catch by Waleed Conley. Gets up the field, and he'll get a 1st down and more as he leans forward close to the 40. Crew Wakely with the tackle. That's a gain of 13.
I mean, remember, Fafita is only about 5'11", maybe. And so when he gets pressure in his face, he had to kind of shoot the high arcer. He gave us a Steph Curry, right? Bringing the rain down with that little...
A little teardrop.
Yeah, a little teardrop. Watch this. It's a screen pass, but really it's just like a floater right there, and then Quali with the one-handed catch, like he's posting up and he's just receiving that post up at the low block one-handed.
Look at you with your basketball references. 1st down and 10 at the 38. Here's a handoff. This time, Risano. And it's a 1st down again. Right now, Arizona just gashing this BYU defense, but there is a flag on the play.
Holding offense, number 59. 10-yard penalty, replay, 1st down.
Rhino top-of-toe tie, number 59, and then he just kind of holds him and pulls him around, and that's right where Risano was trying to run. That's why the flag came out.
1st down at the 16. Fafita caught, sideline. Nice throw. Romello Murphy found a soft spot. Senior from Fremont, California. That's a gain of 25.
How about the time the offensive line gives Fafita? He's back there. He's just having a Mai Tai at the 20-yard line, looking, and then finally, right before the pressure gets to him, he finds Murphy down the field. Far too long for that defensive backfield to cover, and Fafita does a great job not panicking, but finding the open guy before he gets hit.
Can I have a Mai Tai? He's having Mai Tai.
It's like a cup of coffee. Are we doing coffee? I don't know.
All right, after the game. 1st down and 10 at the 43. Fafita. It's got a great rhythm to start this 1st half. And he runs it. Picks up a 1st down. Tackled by the Batman, Tyler Batty. But is that the run-pass option?
You know, I don't know if this was, yes, I do believe he's got a little bit of an option to throw the ball on like a bubble screen out to his outside, but first he's reading the defensive end. Banya crashes in, great ball handling, and then he's able to slip right through the tackle of Harrison Taggart and gain positive yards. Nice ball handling there from Noah Fafita.
1st down at the 31. Conley, the pistol back. They'll give it to him, running right with a blocker in front of him. Cuts it inside. It'll pick up a few. Isaiah Glasker defensively, that's a 3-yard gain.
Boy, I tell you, they have got a nice rhythm offensively, don't they?
Yes.
You know, and it should be noted, Dino Babers is still technically the offensive coordinator for Arizona, but before their big win against Utah, they gave Matt Atkins, the tight end coach, play calling duties, a younger coach, and I'll tell you, today, the rhythm from the play caller, Matt Atkins, has been very good.
Dino Babers, longtime head coach at Syracuse. He's a mentor for Coach Brennan. That's why he wants him on the staff. 2nd and 7 at the 28. Fafita buying time, and he'll just get rid of it. Good pressure there by Latui. Logan Latui, redshirt senior from West Valley City, Utah.
And good coverage down the field. Fafita had nowhere to go with it. Now BYU cannot allow Fafita to just sit in the pocket like they have previously in this series. They've got to get after him. Number 92, Tyler Batty. He's 6'5", 275. We've called his number a few times. He's got to get after it on a play like this, and he's got to make number 11 feel his presence in the pocket.
3rd down, 7 at the 28. Let's see if the Cougars bring pressure. Fafita with time. Hit as he throws. Intercepted at the goal line. Wow! Tanner Wall. What a catch! 7th interception of the year thrown by Fafita.
And what did I tell you earlier in the game? There are times when Fafita forces the ball down the field. This is not there. He's got the tight end wide open right near the chains over on the sideline. No reason to force that ball down to the end zone, and Tanner Wall makes him pay. Beautiful play, keeps his foot in bounds. BYU, huge turnovers, 7-up in Provo.
On a reflective Fansville.
Siri, show me the college football schedule. Welcome back, 7-7. BYU with that interception to get the football back, 10-10 to play. Wall, I love the way this team competes. You don't have a lot of stars, but you have guys that are gritty, they play hard, and they play together.
And they're veteran. You know, they stuck around and they stuck through a difficult time last year. They did not play up to what they feel like their standard was, and they're trying to, well, as Jenny said, change the narrative.
Rapati in the backfield. Wall with his first career interception, and they'll just get some room. But the leader of this team is number 12, Jake Retzlaff. And, you know, they say, the mystics say that 12 represents perfection and completion. 12 members of the Parthenon, 12 tribes, 12 jurors. The day is broken down into 2 periods of 12 months out of the year. Let's see as he continues to progress, if he becomes perfection and completion for the BYU Cougars.
I was just thinking of Terry Bradshaw and Tom Brady.
That's right. There you go.
You went way deeper than that.
Roger Staubach, Aaron Rodgers. Mike McCabe, your referee.
Offside. Defense in the neutral zone, causing a reaction from the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
You know, Gus, this is really smart from Retzlaff, using that hard cadence. And Bruce Mitchell gets away with a little bit of a flinch there at center. But when you're backed up near your own goal line, think about it. If you jump off and it's a false start, half the distance. It's like, who cares? It's like a yard, half a yard. But if you get a free 5 yards, that is a huge amount of breathing room. So using a hard cadence or a second clap down there backed up, really smart from the quarterback.
2nd and 4 at the 7. Retzlaff steps into his throw. Sideline, Lassiter. Did he get a foot in? Did he control it? Yes, he did, according to the official. Darius Lassiter, gain of 16.
Don't let this guy get going if you're Arizona, because he's got a lot of talent. Beautiful release right here. And even though he's close to the sideline, Retzlaff does a good job throwing that back shoulder. And look, he just keeps that in the left hand.
And Retzlaff with a seam. Retzlaff still running. He'll get to the 40, a gain of 15, as we told you. He is a willing and serviceable runner.
Yeah, he really is. And, you know, this BYU team is going to be able to move the football. Remember, all of the reliable middle-of-the-field players are out for Arizona. Jacob Manu was ejected for targeting earlier. Stooks is out. Maldonado is out.
Retzlaff guns this one over the middle and caught. Another great throw. Keanu Hill this time. The tight end gained 16. So, the last 3 plays, gains of 16. 15 and 16 for BYU. Inside Arizona territory now. Ropati, nothing. Well defended. Ta'ufu'u with the tackle in the middle, the redshirt senior.
And now Aaron Roderick, he's the offensive coordinator for this BYU team. And he's a guy that can get creative. We've seen them establish a bit of a rhythm here. Even after they failed on that first 4th down, they come back, they get a 4th down conversion on the last series, punching in for 6, and here on the move.
Second and 10. Retzloff runs the option. Here's the pitch near side with Potty up the sideline, down the sideline. And he is upended at the 32 by Groves Killebrew, but that's a gain of 12.
And he knows that this is a man player. So what is he going to do? He's going to follow this back over here. As soon as that man player leaves, you run the option. All that's left is the defensive end. Nobody left for the running back on that far side. We've seen it twice now, Gus. On fourth down, they checked into it there. That was a beautiful check from Retzloff at the line of scrimmage. And there's nobody there. Arizona has got to fix that because that's a problem moving forward.
They never run the wide option anymore in college football. Now you're starting to see it come back a little bit. First down and 10 to the 33. Watch this trick play coming up. Down the field. Caught. Touchdown. L.J. Martin. What a throw. 33 yards. How about that? Parker Kingston.
He underthrew it against Baylor. They went back to him. Gus, he had a wide open touchdown on a double pass against Baylor, and he underthrew it. It was incomplete. Here, he just gets it over the safety who took a bad angle. Marquise Groves Killebrew, to be honest, I thought he was going to pick it off, number 20. As soon as that play unfolds, I'm watching from the booth, I think, oh, 20's going to get a pick here, and he stops and takes a bad angle, and it's a touchdown for BYU.
So you got a left-handed player throwing all the way across the field in heavy traffic. What a dime. L.J. Martin holds on. 7 plays, covering 99 yards. Cougs eat up 340 to take a 7-point lead here in Provo over Arizona.
Whoa, what's this?
LA Ducks, I mean.
SC lost to Minnesota.
SC lost to Minnesota.
Michigan lost to Washington. 5 of the top 11 teams in the country went down. For BYU, it was nice. They're like, hey, we were 5-0. We were off last week.
Fair catch inside the 10. Let's go downstairs and check with JT.
Well, the only sign of frustration, Gus, from Noah Fifita was a little shake of the head after throwing that pick. Now, he was very active on the sideline on that tablet, making sure he was seeing everything from the surface he needed to see. Coach Brennan did come over to him. They had a positive conversation. But remember, Fifita is coming off a tough performance last week. He told me that he was forcing a bit. He needs to trust his guides, get back to that, play with more fun, because that's when he's at his best.
Well, here's my question to you, Joel. When Fifita loses his offensive coordinator, Jed Fish, their head coach, was an offensive-minded dude. Does that really affect the quarterback?
Yeah. I actually think losing Jacob Cowing is bigger because he affected coverage, and he took the responsibility opposite of Tetero and McMillan last year.
Fifita throws the hitch, far side. That ball caught. Nice run after the catch. Lamonius Craig. If this kid can step up, 15-yard gain, he's got a touchdown. This could be wonderful.
Well, and it's exactly what I was just talking about, right? Jacob Cowing now, he's a draft pick. He's no longer there. They desperately need someone to be effective opposite of Tetero and McMillan so that the coverage can't just focus on number 4. Almost every snap today so far, BYU has double-teamed with a safety over the top of Tetero and McMillan. Somebody else has to win, and right now Montana Lamonius Craig is doing that.
Fifita looks backside, underneath, little bubble screen for T-Mac. He spins, draws a crowd, continues to move, but will not get back to the line of scrimmage. Jacob Robinson finally bringing him down, but gang tackling there by the Cougars.
And just to go back to your question about how hard it is to play without your offensive coordinator and switching that. Yes, that's tough, but also remember that heavy weight of expectation. As a quarterback, Noah Fifita felt that, and he comes back, he makes the announcement at that UCLA basketball game, U of A playing UCLA, and you can want to do too much, Gus, and at times that's what I see from Fifita. When he just uses the offense, he's still a brilliant player.
He stayed. His father said that he turned down generational money. Underneath, almost picked off again. Dangerous throw as Collins knocks that one down. Could have picked it off.
Okay, so this is a great example of what I was just talking about. He's going to get an in cut here, but watch the drag route. The drag route is where the ball needs to go. It's wide open, and he's forcing the ball into positions where the read doesn't take him. That's where you've just got to read the progression, go through it, get the ball to the open man. When he does that, this offense is clicking. But when he's forcing it, they wind up in situations like this.
This season, Fafita is down about 11% in completion percentages and already gone beyond his interceptions from last season. He had 6, now 7.
First charge timeout, Arizona.
And Arizona calls their first timeout. Facing a 3rd down and 12.
Let's check out our Pacific Life game summary, sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for nearly 160 years. Well, the offenses largely have not been stopped outside of that interception that Fafita threw. They marched it down. He's already 7 of 13 for 120. McMillan has that big catch on a 3rd down. Retzloff has been pretty good, but it's really been about Parker Kingston already in the first half, Dubs. Parker Kingston, a passing touchdown and a receiving touchdown. And by the way, 2nd time he's done that in his career. He did it last year against Arkansas. So Parker Kingston coming alive here against the Cats.
Kingston, 3 of 4 passing in his career, all 3 completions for touchdowns.
That's a good percentage. That's the way to do it right there.
3rd down and 12. Fafita, 2 of his last 5 with an interception at the 39. Here comes the pressure. Fafita got it away and caught on the sideline. T-Mac. I tell you what, Noah Fafita, if he has nothing, he has courage.
Oh, and you see this time and time again. Texas Tech just drilled Fafita in the backfield constantly, but here they don't double Teteroa McMillan, and he's just working on a linebacker, Jack Kelly. That's a great matchup for Arizona. They just needed time. There's Jacob Robinson, the nickel, who was in on the pressure, but Fafita standing strong in the pocket.
Gain of 18. 1st and 10 at the 43. Conley. Gain 3. Upended at the 40-yard line. Micah Harper defensively for the Cougars.
And Gus, those last 2 snaps are indicative of what we're talking about, right? Like, you know, I showed you, like, he doesn't hit the wide open guy on one play, and then all of a sudden he hangs in there, makes a brilliant play to Teteroa McMillan. It's in there. He's just got to continue to use the offense. Go where the defense tells you to go.
2nd and 7 at the 40. Fafita will check it down. Risino.
Fafita's pass complete to number 3.
Gains 4 on the play, knocked out of bounds by Evan Johnson.
All right, now we're playing quarterback. What do you get right here, Gus? A little blitz. Well, what do? Throw it out to your back. Just replace the blitz with the ball. Now that's using the offense, and you're creating short yardage situations for your team. And another little float game right there. He's got that one down.
That touch on the football. 3rd and 3 at the 36. Risino stays in the game at running back. And they'll give it left. Risino, 1st down.
Number 3.
Boy, that was a nice little play designed from Arizona. He wrapped all the way around the quarterback, Fafita, as Risino started left of him, wraps all the way around, and then goes all the way back to the left side of the offense. Watch this. See, he gets over there. It's like a counter play. They pull the guard. They've got the fullback leading, and they're able to move the chains.
Risino, Ole Miss transfer from New Caney, Texas. 6 feet, 215 pounds. 1st and 10 at the 33. Risino again with space, running, spinning. A whirling dervish who'll get close to that 1st down. He'll gain 9 yards. Johnson again defensively.
All right, well, here we go. Gus, what have we seen all day? Move the ball. Now it's about execution. Now it's Fafita's turn and this Arizona offense's turn. You got to execute once you get down into the scoring area. Kalani Sitake knows that. These games in the Big 12 are going to be close, and you've got to execute when you get in these situations, in particular as we get down close to the 2-minute timeout.
We have had touchdown drives of 99, 95, and 75 yards in this game. No punts. Risino. Looks like he will not get the 1st down this time. And that takes us to the 2-minute timeout. 14-7 BYU. Arizona driving. unseasonably warm.
Did you see that guy prepare to do that? The big deep breath.
All right.
Oh my goodness, I'm sorry.
No,
Couldn't handle that.
I understand. As Arizona gets close to the red zone, they've struggled this year. As we mentioned, 50% touchdown rate. Even worse for this matchup. BYU's red zone defense has been really good this year. 21st in the country, 46%. Third down and 1 at the 24. Wally Conley checks back into the game and running back. Now he lines up as a receiver. Fafita throws that way. And incomplete, or is it? Incomplete, it is. Cam Olsen, the target.
Fully expect them to keep their offense on the field here, just out of the reach of Olsen as he's trying to stay in bounds. Would have had that left foot out of bounds anyways. And now Arizona with a 4th down chance.
They need a yard at the 24. Here comes a blitz. They pick it up. Conley cuts it back inside. I don't know. Doesn't look like it.
He needed to get all the way to the 23-yard line. That is where the line to gain is, and that is awfully close. He needed a long yard, and he gets stopped in the backfield. Now he's got to dive all the way forward. And did he stretch it with that left arm? Boy, that is close. Gus, look at him stretch with his left arm right there at the end.
Might have got it.
He might have got it, and it just depends on, if he had a body part down before he stretched the ball. And it looks like he's just down right there as he stretches the ball out with that left. It looks like he may have gotten it.
Let's see. And by the nose of the football. Did he get it?
Yeah. If you roll and if it hits the bar, it's a 1st down. It has to clear, there has to be a gap. And Brent Brennan, by that much, keeps his offense on the field. Good effort by Conley after that upfield pressure from BYU forced him to cut back, and he's able to get the line to gain.
So a 1st down for the Wildcats. A minute and 40 remaining in the first half. Down by 7.
The ruling on the field is the runner made the line to gain. The previous play is under review.
Oh, jeez. Brought in an extra offensive lineman. Arizona did, trying to run that ball. Wally Conley has run it pretty effectively for them today, but sure looked like, Gus, by the looks that we had, it looked like he stretched for that line to gain.
Mikey Rulebooks joins us. Mike, what do you think?
I think he's short. I mean, I think the knee is down before he stretches the ball out. You see that right knee get down, and then he stretches out. He had to get all the way to the 23. I think they back this up and make it short.
Hard to tell. What we're going to feel is that he did reach the line to gain.
Yeah, I just don't know if that's clear. Clear and evident right there. Even by that look down the line. Because of the way the shadows were, I don't know exactly where his knee is down, Definitively, I guess. And if we go back to what replay is supposed to be, it's supposed to be definitive. You're not trying to re-officiate this play on the ground. Like, is he down there? Is it floating? I don't know.
Give me ocular proof of LSU.
I'm not a fan of when replay inserts themselves into the game here. All right, so
come back.
When is that knee down? All right, so this will be timed up together using the Hawkeye system. That's the technology that they use. So when is the knee down? The knee would be down right there. And Mike, I guess if you're pairing those together and you're saying the Hawkeye system says those are synced, then that's the look that you could use to be conclusive. And then that would be the evidence that the ball was maybe about 6 inches short of that 23-yard line.
Yeah, and I'm with you. I agree. You don't want to over officiate the play, but if you get the objective look, so if there is a knee down, and who knows what they're going to rule here, but again,
after review, it was confirmed the runner was short of the line to gain. The ball will be placed at the 23.5-yard line. First down, BYU.
Zona had 2nd and inches and could not convert, so they turned it over on downs with 1:39 to go in the second quarter. 14-7 BYU.
And that's already now 2 series for Arizona where they were marching us. They're moving the football, and then an interception, and then a turnover on downs, eerily similar to what we saw from them in their last game against Texas Tech. Unable to capitalize. That was what I talked about as one of the keys to the games, making those drives count. And not only do they stall out, they don't get any points, and they can't kick a field goal either with the turnover and a 4th down stop. And now BYU's got a great chance here. 2 timeouts, minute 43, plenty of time on the clock to get things rolling here with their offense.
Do you want to be aggressive with a 7-point lead?
Absolutely. Remember now, Jacob Manu is out, Maldonado is out, Stukes is out. This defense is reeling. They've scored every time outside of that 4th down stop on their first series. I would be hyper aggressive here.
First down option again. Rapati stays in bounds as he tumbles forward. Owen Goss defensively. And remember, Manu ejected from this game on the first series for targeting. He's their leader, their captain, the quarterback on defense. Retzloff steps into his throw, has a first down, a little bit more. As they move it up the field, that's Hill, the tight end, with the reception.
And they've just got plenty of time with the clock stopping after first downs like you just saw. Now they'll roll. They've got the 2 timeouts. They've also got a kicker with a big leg. Will Farron, the transfer from Boise, saw him before the game, kicking it easily from about 55, almost up to 60.
1st and 10 of the 42. Retzloff sprints out, tries a square, gets a block, and gobbled up immediately as he crosses the line of scrimmage. But there is a flag on the play. Chase Kennedy with the tackle for Arizona. I love the way Coach Brennan's Wildcats have competed, not only
Personal
in this
foul,
game, but the entire
illegal
season.
blindside block, offense number 7. 15-yard penalty, replay, first down.
Yeah, Rapati here is going to get called for this block because he goes back towards his own goal line. Watch Rapati, number 7. You cannot go back towards your own goal line and create a block like that. That one is where the flags came out as Retzloff. I don't know what he was thinking. That ball needs to get thrown away or he needs to get out of bounds. You're inside of 2 minutes, but that was that blindside block right there that was called, and that'll back him up. Any movement back towards the ball and or your own goal line, and that's going to trigger that call for a blindside block.
So that'll make it first down and long. They need 25, 48 seconds to go. Where does Farron need to be placed to attempt a field goal?
I think legitimately he can try one if they get it to the 42, 43-yard line. That would stretch his distance.
Remember, high altitude, folks. The ball will go further. Retzloff dancing in the pocket, throws on the move, and he's got his receiver. What a great throw. Chase Roberts with the catch, and now they're in field goal range, a gain of 17.
No, they got to go all the way across the 50, so the opposite 42.
Excuse me.
Yeah, but now they're in striking distance.
I'm thinking that we're at high altitude. Folks, they got a kid on Arizona named Luke.
Oh, man.
Their kicker. He can kick it, they say, from 75 yards.
I mean, I saw him before the game.
So I didn't really understand what you were saying right there.
I hear you. You got to get to the opposite, the plus 42. So even from this spot right now, you would need 5'10", about 15 yards, I would think, to feel good about this attempt. There's Luke from Arizona. Before the game, he was legitimately hitting it from 70, But Will Farron's got a huge leg as well. This is 65 with a hold off grass. No
Look how much, and he could have hit that from 75.
It hit the net. But for BYU, on the other side, Farron might not have that type of leg, but he can certainly stretch it to the mid-50s, close to 60 from what I saw in pregame. What little breeze that is out there today is helping them a little bit from right to left, not a lot. But with one timeout in 28 seconds, you could absolutely get yourself in position to try a field goal here.
2nd down and 8 at the 44. Let's see what the Cougars do. Trips at the bottom of your screen for Retzlaff. With Potty in the backfield. Retzlaff under pressure. Throws it out of bounds. And that'll bring up 3rd and 8. Great pressure by Chase Kennedy.
Yeah, they finally are able to get some pressure. This defensive front really needed to get to Retzlaff, but they've moved the pocket well. They've checked into those option plays. It's been a good game plan from BYU so far in this first half. And now this group up front, you've got to be able to put some pressure. You look to Trey Smith, number 3. He's their leader up front, the defensive lineman. He's going to be up there kind of top of your screen. And this is a guy that needs to get pressure.
Cougs need about 12 yards. 3rd and 8. Retzlaff on the move. Incomplete. So that brings up 4th down and 8. Decision to make. Do they go for it or do they punt it away with 16 seconds to go?
You cannot go for it because of the video we just showed. Tyler Loop, if you don't get it, he's in field goal range on the opposite side right now. You have to punt this ball away. There's no doubt. Now, if you're Arizona, the question is, do you want to play this safe or get after it?
This will be the first punt of the game for either team. But the Arizona defense, stout in the first half, giving up only 14 points on the road. Patterson, the deep man. They're caught at the 10. 44-yard punt. Tomorrow, it's an NFL doubleheader on Fox as Kyler Murray leads the Cardinals against the Packers. Other regional action. Then in America's Game of the Week, my boys, Jared Goff, Jeezy, and the Lions take on Dak and the Cowboys. Check the game in your area only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Talk about discipline and precision. Jared Goff, 18 of 18.
I saw that.
What?
I saw that and I was like, wait. Is that right?
That's how we do it in Detroit, man. We're precise.
That's right.
Arizona take a knee, and they'll head into the half down by 7. 14-7, our halftime score. BYU on top of Arizona. Cougs trying to stay undefeated and improve to 6-0. We'll send you to LA for the State Farm halftime show. Mike Hill, Sergeant Mike after this. We're here, the chips and dips. This is the 5th season that BYU has started the year 5-0 since going undefeated and winning the national title in 1984. It's also the 3rd time the Cougars have done it under head coach Kalani Sitake. Last year, you kind of just didn't work out. Things went south in their first year in the Big 12. But that's not the case with this man as their head coach. He is a wonderful representation of BYU football, former player, and also a great leader.
I got to tell you, I know we're not supposed to do it. I've known this guy for a long time, since he was a young coach. We covered him when he was a defensive coordinator
at Utah.
He is a genuinely great person and a great man and an easy guy to root for.
Let's go downstairs to JT.
Well, can we talk about that play from Jacob Robinson? The sideline was beaming with joy when they saw that. No, defensive coordinator Jay Hill said he's not undersized. He might be listed as 5'11", but I hope teams keep throwing it his way because he is a playmaker. He told me this week, Gus, his biggest strength is playing the ball when it's in the air. Growing up from the age of 5, I want to be in the NFL. It might be a big man's game, but don't worry, I fit right in.
There you go.
I love that. And that was his 9th career interception. He's got excellent coverage skills. The knock is just going to be his height, 5'11". He's about 170, maybe. But I tell you, he's got great instincts, as evidenced that last interception.
1st down and 10 of the 25. Arizona running the football. Conley. Getting back to Coach Sitake. Yesterday when we were at his facility, there was one man that stood out, and that was his dad.
That's right.
His dad, Tom, was there. His dad is there every day, right by his side, looking over his son. As a matter of fact, Tom parks in Coach's parking spot. So when he shows up at work, he's got to find his parking spot like everybody else, because Daddy is in there.
So when we asked Tom, we're like, Tom, you park in Kalani's spot? He goes, no, that's my spot.
I love it. 2nd down and 7. And a fumble. Loose ball picked up by the Cougars. Isaiah Glasker punched it out. Harrison Taggart with the recovery. This reminds you of the Kansas State game.
That's exactly right. It's coming like an avalanche now from BYU. Here you go right here. Here's the blitz by Glasker, and he's going to get the contact, and you see following right up Harrison Taggart, and he's able to get the ball. Arizona's lucky he didn't scoop and score there. He had plenty of time and some room, and he just falls on that football. Beautiful job defensively. Jay Hill, the defensive coordinator for BYU, has done a masterful job this season. I think this defense is the reason they're undefeated. The defensive front puts pressure on the opposing quarterback. They have improved drastically from a year ago with this veteran-led defensive line, and that pressure is getting home here in the second half.
Cougars now, 1st and 10 at the Arizona 15. Retzlaff wants to run it, and he'll be lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Just go back to Jay Hill. You know, we haven't had a chance to say his name much, but now with the turnovers, Gus, Jay Hill, the defensive coordinator, suffered a heart attack 2 days before the opener.
49 years old.
49 years old. Otherwise, totally healthy. Total shock to everybody involved. He's obviously trying to take it easier now. He moved up into the box. He stands on the tower in practice trying to remove himself from the emotion of what's going on the field. But he has said it's made him a better defensive coordinator because he sees the game better from an elevated position now at all times. Tries to keep his cool, keep himself relaxed. But I tell you, the creative nature with which his defense works has been just a weapon this year.
2nd down and 10 to the sideline. He told us yesterday in the meeting, he said, I don't know, it was just one day I was feeling good, but then I just started sweating, and I couldn't stop sweating. I moved around, and then I called my wife, and I said, I'm sweating. Something's wrong. And then that's when he had to go to get checked out and found out that he had had a heart attack. They put a stent in there. A couple days later, got back to work.
Man. And that, yeah, now look at him. He's relaxed. He's sitting back in his chair now, Gus. Look at him. He's like, I don't even need to talk into the microphone. My defense is doing their job. Offense has the ball in the red zone.
3rd down and 10 at the 15. Retzlaff looks underneath and incomplete. And that's the Achilles heel of Jake Retzlaff. Sometimes it seems like his timing is off and he rushes things, especially in those short passes.
When you live by the sword as a quarterback, you die by the sword. Well, the sword for Retzlaff is the fact that he's a bit of a gunslinger, which means that he's willing to throw, Gus, from any arm angle and with any body position. He's not going to force himself to play with always proper mechanics. Well, right there, his feet weren't set. He's falling back. He dips down and throws sidearm. He's got Lassiter open, and yet the mechanics of the way he threw it doesn't allow him to throw it accurately.
Will Farron into a tip to 33-yarder, and it's good. 24-7. Cougars will take the points. Defense stepping up.
Type 2 diabetes? Discover the Ozempic Trizone.
Cars, homes, boats, motorcycles, RVs, and more. College football stadiums have some of the best mountain views in the country, and 2 of them are right here in Utah. The Beehive State, folks, because everybody works together. Rice-Eccles Stadium in Salt Lake, and LaVell Edwards Stadium here in Provo. This, folks, is a bucket list stadium.
Yeah, I agree.
This is the most spectacular thing you'll ever see. I can only imagine what it's like at night for a night game. First time here, I remember as a kid, Joel, I used to watch Jim McMahon. He had that long face mask, and he left with 73 college NCAA records. They were throwing it all over the place.
Out of bounds, kicking team. Receiving team is elected to take the ball at the 35-yard line. 1st down.
And that's when I first noticed BYU as a kid. They beat Michigan in 1984.
Yeah.
The team I grew up rooting for in the Holiday Bowl, which we call every year, for the national championship under LaVell Edwards.
You know, this, it's not just that it's a great program, and it is, and they've got storied history. This program, in so many ways, is kind of one of the birthplaces of modern football as we know it in the passing game, or what LaVell Edwards meant to our sport. Not just this program, which is evident, the stadium's named after him, but what that passing game has meant to our sport.
When BYU has the ball on offense, we tell that story even more. Nice tackle by Blake Mangelson.
This is when you need that veteran defensive front to just own the game, right? Choke the life out of the game with that defensive front. These guys, all seniors, Latui, Mangelson, Nelson, Tyler Batty, they've been very good today. Disruptive. There's Batty, 92. He's probably the best guy up front. They're physical. These guys are grown men. Some of them 24, 25 years old.
Second and 12 at the 33. Fafita with time. Nobody open. Sideline throw, I don't know. Did he catch it? Yes. Out of bounds. Tough catch on that sideline. Lot of traffic for Lamonius Craig. Gain of 5 for number 5.
I understand that Arizona's probably shell-shocked right now, but if you have any chance in this game, watch that secure and gets that toe down before the white line. That was beautiful concentration from Montana Lamonius Craig. If they want any chance in this game, they've got to convert here. They've got to go down and score a touchdown.
3rd down and 7 at the 38 for Fafita. Arizona's offense stalling now. Fafita in trouble. Turns a corner, throws on the move, caught, and it looks like a first down. Nicely done. Jeremiah Patterson, the junior from San Francisco, makes the reception, and he gains 11 on 3rd and 7.
And that was just all effort by Fafita, the quarterback. The credit you give Jeremiah Patterson is he just kept working right here. He's on the sideline, and he just gets right back to the quarterback, knowing that Fafita is in trouble, and they're just before the sack able to get that ball down the field.
First down and 10 at the 48. Conley. Gain a couple. Gets the midfield. Harrison Taggart.
I think that the risk that you run here as a quarterback and even a play caller is thinking to yourself, like, I just got to get it all back. You know, it went so quickly. Those 2 turnover scores from BYU. It's 24-7. The risk is to try to get all of it back.
But Joel, they got to throw it to number 4.
Well, he's been doubled on almost every snap. Now, right here, it looks like they might get some single coverage out there. Yeah. Oh, they got to throw it to him right now.
2nd down and 8. They fake the reverse. Fafita. And incomplete.
See, here's what's going on, though, Gus. It looks like single coverage, and this is why Fafita is a little confused right now. And I even said that, oh, it's single covered. It's got to go to McMillan. The problem is that every time that the safety, even if he's the lone safety in the middle of the field, he rolls over the top of the corner. So the corners can just get deep, and then there's a safety on that side as well. And Fafita's got nowhere to go with the ball.
3 receptions for 55 yards for T-Mac. 3rd down and 8 at midfield. Fafita off his back foot, steps into his throw, and incomplete. That ball sailing high, intended for Burnett. Brings up 4th down and 8.
Well, here's what you got. I just told you, here you're going to have the free safety. Where's he going? He's going to go double onto the wide receiver. So what do you have? You have a one-on-one right here. The tight end has to win across the middle. Fafita steps up, gets away, and then the ball is just out too far in front. Good coverage and one-on-one coverage from Crew Wakely, and it's an incompletion.
So Arizona will punt the football. What I'm not seeing from Fafita, though, he's got fleet feet. He's not running the football to maybe get some of those first downs because there are some lanes for him. They send it away. First punt for Arizona. Sideline and caught inside the 15. A 37-yard punt. 24-7 the score. BYU. Jake Retzlaff going dimes here in Provo. Back after this. Now the Cougs. First and 10 at the 14. Retzlaff. And they're just done.
Now there's that play again. Remember when I told you?
What's that?
Every time 80 is in the game, Reiner Swanson,
the tight end,
something's up. So like the ball is targeting him. So now they're going to have 80 in the ball game, right? And so here he's going to come across and they're going to try to set up a little screen to him. Well, look at Arizona. They know because they're like, okay, 80's in the game. He's not normally in the game. He doesn't play enough snaps total to come in there and fool anybody. As soon as 80's in the game, they know that he's being targeted.
2nd down and 10 at the 14. Retzlaff. Sideline incomplete. This time, Tasse the intended receiver.
Well, this is a big snap for the Arizona defense because you're trying to piece together a comeback right now. The offense has struggled a little bit. What you need is good field position, and their opportunity to give them good field position is get off the field right now. You know, this is a play that you've got to dial up something aggressive, get to the quarterback, and make sure that you get a stop now.
3rd down and 10 of the 14.
Checking the play again. Watch out for that option. Remember, they were checking into that option earlier.
How do you know all this stuff? They want to throw it, but they don't. It looked like it. L.J. Martin looked downfield as if he wanted to throw that football, but he didn't. I may be wrong. Lance Kennelly with the tackle.
Yeah, they're trying to catch him in that man coverage again because they were losing the back in the first half in some of those critical downs, and they were able to run option, but they were doing that to the short side of the field, not the wide side of the field. The wide side of the field, that's where all the numbers were. Arizona was structurally ready for that play.
Patterson, the deep man. Sam Vanderhaar, the Aussie kicker. Pit transfer, sends it away. Patterson, nice run. Patterson cuts it inside, and he'll go down at midfield. So Arizona will have great field position, a 49-yard punt and a 15-yard return. Alexander with the tackle. Who wants to win the Big 12 is the question.
This was the preseason poll. You see 1 through 5, that's how teams were picked in the preseason. Current standings, totally different. We always knew that this was going to be a wild league, but remember.
How about your Colorado Buffaloes?
Hey,
big game tonight.
How about that? They got K-State tonight. That one's going to be huge. Obviously, BYU with a commanding lead. Texas Tech is playing well with their head coach, Joey McGuire. Matt Campbell's crew at Iowa State.
He's one of my favorite coaches, Matt Campbell.
This league, man, I'm telling you, it's just a tough league. ASU with a big league. By the way, ASU was picked to finish dead last. Utah was picked to finish first in the conference, and last night ASU beats Utah in Tempe.
1st down and 10 at the 49. Retzlaff incomplete. Now last week, or 2 weeks ago when they played Baylor, BYU scored a lot of points and their offense struggled in the second half. They had 31 points in the first half. They finished with only 34. So we know that if Arizona can keep this game close, they may be able to do something as it continues. 2nd and 10 at the 49. Turn around and hand it off. Reasoning.
Number 3, Hendrick.
Gain of 3, the Batman.
This defensive front plays so hard. You know, I know that they talk to us about the effort that they play with, but you can just see it. It just pops off the field when you're watching at home. You see these guys diving, fighting, straining on every one of these plays, and now again an obvious passing situation. This is when Jay Hill has dialed up some sort of stunt, like a twist up front and or outright pressure to get after Noah Fafita.
3rd down and 7 at the 48. Connolly in the backfield. Fafita skipping back, checks it down. Conley crosses the line of scrimmage, keeps those legs churning, and he'll gain 5. So a decision needs to be made right now for Arizona.
Yeah, I don't think it is a decision. I think you have to go for it here. And how about this effort? I tell you what, Conley at least makes this a more manageable 4th down with just sheer effort, just pulling 3, 4, 5, 6 BYU Cougars close to that line to gain, and now it's a much more manageable 4th down.
Will Fafita use his legs when people are covered? There's a spy on him. He's got to make that man miss. 4th down and 2 at the 43. Fafita steps into his throw and caught for 1st down. T-Mac.
We talked about this earlier. When they get into these bunch sets, you're going to get a clear out, and then a delay route from McMillan. You see him just blocking right off the bat. Probably get away with that right there. You see them blocking off the line of scrimmage. That was Romello Murphy, and he gets away with all that contact as the ball is completed past the line of scrimmage, past the line to gain, and they're able to get McMillan open.
4 catches, 67 yards for T-Mac, averaging 17 yards a grab. 1st and 10 at the 31. They'll hand it off. Conley cuts it inside. Almost slipped. Gain 2. Nice tackle by Bodie. Shuno.
Well, last time out against Texas Tech, Arizona had 7 drives cross the 30-yard line, Gus. They only finished with 22 points. This is when they started to falter. Today, now, this is the 4th drive that they've crossed the 30-yard line of the BYU Cougars. They only have the 7 points. Brent Brennan knows they have to execute right now.
2nd and 8 at the 29. Noah Fafita delivers. Incomplete. That's a drop by his best player. McMillan.
Yeah, got to catch that. Fafita is dropping back, and he gets himself a little bit of time, and this is absolutely catchable. That ball's got to be caught. I know it's not the easiest catch, but certainly one that Tedero McMillan should be able to make.
3rd down and 8 at the 29, which may be 4-down territory for Arizona.
Yeah, I think so, Gus. I think it is 4-down territory. So don't be surprised here if they get the look that they want if they run it here. And
they don't need it all.
Watch McMillan. He's got single coverage down here low.
Fafita steps up. Hits the sideline and tripped up. The Batman, Tyler Batty. What an open field tackle.
Laying out to trip him as Fafita looked to try to get the edge. Here's Batty. Comes from that Cowboy family, and he just gets the heels. It's like he's wrestling steers there, roping them up there from the heels, and Batty's swimming towards the sidelines as the defense gets off the field.
That's right. Tyler Batty grew up, his dad a cowboy. 47-yard attempt for Tyler Lue. Boom. Listen to the ball come off this young man's foot, folks. There are 2 NFL players on the field today. T-Mac is one, and that young man, Tyler Lue, is the other. Arizona will take the 3, 24-10. Back after this. Send this one deep into the end zone. Here's today's Aflac trivia question, sponsored by Aflac. Get help with expenses health insurance doesn't cover with Aflac. Who was the last BYU quarterback to lead the team to a top 10 finish in the AP poll? You know that one? You know that one.
I think.
Who? You're looking at me with that.
I think.
I just swallowed the canary.
I always just think of like recent
thinking.
Events.
That's a good thing, as Socrates would say.
I would say Steve Sarkisian.
Really? That far back? Interesting. 1st and 10 at the 25. Get the answer right now as they run it. And it's Rapati. Terrific run inside the 40, a gain of 15. All right, let's answer it for you. Steve Sarkisian, 1996.
I was about to say, some of those Denver teams or anything like that, because none of the modern ones, they've not finished in the top 10. But I remember Sark was a slinger, man. WAC Offensive Player of the Year, 2nd team All-American, had 4,000 passing yards, finished 14-1.
And here's the deal, folks. Think about this. On this day, in this moment in time, the best team in the National Football League, back-to-back world champions, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the #1 team in college football, the Texas Longhorns, 5-0, both philosophically and spiritually are coached by this man, Lavelle Edwards. Andy Reid and Steve Sarkisian played for Lavelle.
Well, and look at all the other guys too.
Wow.
It's just like, and this is what I was talking about in our, previously about so much of modern football has its roots here at BYU with Lavelle Edwards, Brian Billick, Mike Holmgren, all of these guys, and the birth of the modern sport as we know it with the passing game was really with Lavelle Edwards and in many ways, Bill Walsh, and those guys worked in tandem in a lot of ways. And then their coaching trees, that's what football is right now, Gus. I mean, even today, all these young coaches in the NFL.
All the way down to Kyle Shanahan.
That's right. LaFleur. You've got Sean McVay. I mean, all of these guys, right? Mike McDaniels. They have their roots in Kalani Sitake, all the way back to Lavelle, Bill Walsh, who worked together. It was so great. We were able to spend a little time with Steve Young, who was here and being celebrated as a College Football Hall of Famer for BYU. And we were able to talk to him, and just listening to him talk about Bill Walsh and what Bill and Lavelle in many ways did for this sport was, I mean, it was inspiring, to be honest with you. To just sit there. I could have done it for hours.
On 3rd and 3, incomplete for BYU. Take a look at this picture, folks. Mike Holmgren, coach for Lavelle Edwards. He came from San Francisco State to be their offensive coordinator. 2 years later, he left, went to the San Francisco 49ers and played, or rather coached, for Bill Walsh. Then left and went to the Green Bay Packers and spawned a bunch of different coaches. Yeah. And he left with the toolbox that Coach Walsh gave him when he walked out of the door.
So this was a great piece of this story that I think is incredible. And both these men, Lavelle Edwards certainly.
Offside, defense, number 46 in the neutral zone, causing a reaction. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
And Bill Walsh, what they were more concerned with was people and legacy and leaving behind what they had built so that others could build on top of that. That's what Lavelle did, and that's what Kalani talks about being the head coach here for BYU. That's what Steve talked about with Bill Walsh. So Bill Walsh in 1987, he retires, and he had boxes of stuff, audio, video, all his game tape, all his game plans, all his installations, and he gave it to those guys that were going to take his torch and move it forward. And they got the torch of the West Coast offense. In many cases, that's what happened with Lavelle Edwards here. And guys like Kyle Whittingham played for and coached under Lavelle. And then he's at Utah now. And Urban Meyer coaches under that. And it just continues and it continues and it continues. And it goes back to these men, Bill, Lavelle, and what they meant to the sport schematically, but also to the people that we now celebrate as the champions and really the titans of the sport that we love in this country.
On 3rd and 3, BYU picks it up. It's just a wonderful, almost a poetic story. Coach Edwards would have celebrated his birthday yesterday. And he had a funny sense of humor. I remember reading a quote where he said, you know, they'll never invite us to play in Vegas. And he said, why, Coach? He said, because Cougar fans will go to Vegas with the 10 Commandments and a $50 bill, and they won't break either one of them. First down and 10, BYU. Near side. Caught. Chase Roberts. Again, he's having a wonderful game, along with Keelan, Marion, and Parker Kingston.
Oh, man, this is exactly what Sitake wants to see, is that run game leads to pass game. It's what I talked about in the keys. And everything off of play action, that's when Retzloff is at his best. And right there, they just get a little bit of a play fake in the backfield, and they're able to spin Chase Roberts out of the backfield on what I would call a slide route. By the way, guess where the slide route originated? Where? Bill Walsh to the West Coast offense. And he just slides behind the offensive line, and there he is for a completion.
1st and 10 of the 36. Play fake. Retzloff all day. Bounces out. On the move. Looks like a catch and first down, and it is beautiful. Number 5, Darius Lassiter. Folks, he's only 6'2". Well, he's 6'2". But they say he has huge mitts, huge hands.
Strong hands at the catch point. I think he's an NFL player. I know he had a couple of drops last week. Could have been a monster game. He had a couple of drops. He still went 8 for 121 and a touchdown against Baylor in their last game. And today he's been pretty good. He's got 4 catches now, 48 yards, 12 a pop.
First down to the 25. Big strike, caught, and it's Keanu Hill. It was fun talking. I talked to him last night, folks, Steve Young. Joel talked to him today. Last night we were having a conversation about an hour in, and his wife kicked him out off the phone. He said, my wife, she's making me leave, but I'll call you tomorrow. Unbelievable.
It's so good. It's so good. You know what made that passing game so innovative for BYU?
Precision and discipline.
Well, not only that, but it was taking advantage of what that game was at that time. Remember the Steelers in the late 70s, that was football, right? 8 guys around the line of scrimmage, big neck rolls on the linebackers. And the pass game for BYU and Lavelle Edwards, they were taking the pass game and they were taking it from outside the numbers and they were moving it to the interior of the field.
That's off on the move, incomplete.
And Gus, here's what I mean by that, is that rather than reading the corners and the safeties all the time, like Terry Bradshaw used to throwing it down the field to Lynn Swan and those
They read
guys,
the linebackers.
They would read the linebackers, and so they invented concepts that would high-low the linebackers, or they would put the linebackers in conflict. And these guys with neck rolls who just wanted to stop the run and hit fullbacks, they were now in space trying to defend the pass, and they would look around and be like, we don't know how to do this, and their coaches didn't either. That's why the pass game for BYU was so innovative.
3rd down and 6 at the 21, over the middle, incomplete. Lassiter was open. A lot of hot sauce on that football.
And then Bill Walsh comes in, and he puts his spin on it in the West Coast system. There's that hot sauce you're talking about just through his hands. He's going to want that one back.
But then that changed the defense. That's why you see these hybrid linebackers now that are fast, that can cover, even defensive tackles at 315, now running a 4-5.
Well, not only that, but they went from single safety defense with 8 guys at the line of scrimmage to 2 safety defense with 7 guys at the line of scrimmage. So it's always been a cat and mouse game going all the way back to the late 70s and early 80s.
Farron from 39, and it's good. And that's why we're not seeing the offense in football, the long ball, as much as we have in the past. Would you say?
Not right now. You got those 2 safeties. They're always sitting back over the top. I love talking about the schematics of the game. You know, I love talking with Steve about it. And BYU going down the field and getting some points. And then here's the one tree that we didn't even touch on yet. Think about this. Guess who comes along and comes here to study under Lavelle and puts together an offense that has now been probably one of, if not the most successful modern offenses in college
Andy
football.
Reid, right?
Mike Leach and Hal Mundy.
Wow, that's right.
Come to BYU and they study under Lavelle Edwards, and they did something to invent the air raid system. They invented a system that borrowed the passing game from BYU. And
was Hal Mundy here too?
Not here. Okay. Hal was at Valdosta State with Mike Leach, and those two come up here to learn the passing game from Lavelle Edwards at BYU. And Gus, what they did is they married the passing game with the philosophy of the triple option, that any of the 5 skill position players can hurt you at any given time.
Now, what I've read, all of this started with Sid, I want to say Gilman. Is it Gilman? The Chicago Bears quarterback who really was before Lavelle Edwards and Bill Walsh. And he spawned Don Coryell, Al Davis, 2 big-time, offensive-minded, historical figures in the history of the game of American football. Man, it's just, we were talking to Steve last night. He's got to write a book.
I know.
Because he knows the story. He told me this is the first time I've ever really sat down and looked at the entire tree.
Yeah. Now on the Arizona side, you can see that Noah Fafita started out hot, and since it's been those turnovers, that have just derailed this game for Arizona. They were unable to get points in 2 possessions inside the 30, 1 a pick, 1 a 4th down stop, then the turnovers to start this second half, and it's been downhill ever since.
1st and 10 of the 25. Incomplete. That ball looks like it was deflected at the line of scrimmage.
This BYU team, they told us yesterday, and Jenny and you and I were talking about this, they kept saying, like, hey, this is a special group. We play for each other. We love each other. We love football. Remember Tyler Batty said, guys, you don't understand. Our locker room loves football. And he said, I've never been around a group of guys that loves the game this much. And they play like it, in particular on this defensive side.
2nd and 10 to the 25. Fafita wants to run it. He uses his legs. Crosses the 30. Logan Latui giving chase. Gain of 6.
Got 17-point deficit. Start thinking about how many possessions you have possible if you're Arizona. And now the clock is working against you, so they're going to need to start to play a little bit quicker as far as their tempo between snaps. But it starts with getting first downs. And hey, when they're in these bunch sets, you've got to watch McMillan now. When they're in these bunch sets, they always try to slip kind of a little delay over the middle.
3rd and 4 at the 31. Fafita looking over the middle. There you have it. It's caught. His tight end, Kean Burnett, tackled by Jacob Robinson. It's a gain of 14 and a first down.
They didn't even really defend Burnett. I mean, he was wide open from the get-go. All the attention over that wide receiver side with Tetaroa, and Burnett was wide open.
Another Servite high school prospect. 1st and 10 at the 45. Fafita, McMillan, and Burnett, who makes another catch, all coming out of Servite High School, which is in Anaheim. And there's another player, Joel, that came out of Servite that's doing some pretty good things in the Big Ten.
Well, and Jacob Manu was on that defense, and Mason Graham was on that team, a great defensive tackle for Michigan. That's a team that, they lost to Modern Day in the championship, but that was basically like a 1 versus 2 in the country type of game.
2nd and 5 at midfield. End of the quarter. They'll hand it off. Caden Luke, not a lot of room as he goes backwards. And that'll take us to the end of the 3rd. 27-10. Brigham Young. At the 48. Fafita steps up in the pocket. Wants to run it. Fafita turns it up, and he uses his legs and picks up a first down.
Yeah, just what you've been asking for, and now they didn't spy him. They don't have that linebacker over the top, and Fafita is able to get just enough space in order to move the chains, and they desperately needed that. He's been under duress today, but as is the case the entire season, he's unfazed. He gets hit a lot. There's nobody in the Big 12 under more pressure than Noah Fafita, and yet he doesn't take a lot of sacks because he's so competitive.
The Batman with the tackle. First down, though, at the 44. Here's a handoff. Connolly reverses, not a lot, maybe 2. Tyler Batty in on that play as well.
Check out this adjustment, Gus. See the linebacker right here? Earlier today, he was getting stuck inside, and they were getting outside of him. But here, he's able to just look at him. He just moves outside. That's a halftime adjustment from Jay Hill. The linebacker on that action, when he gets a puller, he just slides to the outside and prevents Arizona from running that direction. Conley had to take off to the right.
Harrison Taggart, 2nd and 8 at the 42. Connolly lines up as a receiver at the bottom of your screen. They look that way, fire that way, and caught. Looks like a first down. Wally Conley.
I think he stepped out just short of that line to gain as he kind of spun away from that reception, and that'll be short yardage again. We saw this situation earlier today. They had 3rd and short, then 4th and short. Gus, they were unable to get it. Previously, they tried to throw the ball here on 3rd down. I wonder if they'll try to get back to the run game and think to themselves, 2 handoffs should get this.
3rd down and 2. Arizona 7 for 12 on 3rd down conversions. Here's the reverse. Near side. Chris Hunter. And he gets it. First down.
Running on the edge. They've been having a hard time. Look at all those defenders for BYU, but they're able to get just a little bit of a lane out here on the right side. And then just a nice adjustment right there from Hunter as he's able to get inside of his block and dive for the line to gain. Nice move right there.
First down at the 33. Noah Fafita, near side, deflected and incomplete. Somebody got a big hand up, and it looks like this time it was Isaiah Banya.
13, Banya working against the tackle. Good rush. He gets right into the face of Fafita McMillan, or excuse me, Noah Fafita. He gets that right hand up there.
Banya from Lethbridge, Canada, Boise State transfer. 2nd and 10 at the 33. Fafita reverses. On the move. Caught and a first down. Well executed play as McMillan hauls it down. He's dropped by Crew Wakely.
You know, when you get the quarterback out there like that on the run, those second-level defenders, they have to make a decision, Gus. Are we going to defend the quarterback and the short route and lay off of McMillan, who's then coming in behind him on a layered route over the top? And when you do that, then you can get number 4 open.
First down to the 22. We're running straight ahead. Risano. Not a lot. Evan Johnson, first man to him.
Well, you're going to get a corner blitz. I tell you, man, Jay Hill, every single play, it feels like they've got something dialed up, and they're just making Arizona work for everything. Never the same pressure. They're bringing it from the corner spot. They're bringing it from the wide side of the field out of the linebackers. It's just a lot of different things on every snap.
2nd and 9 at the 21. Fafita. Sideline. Risano with the grab. Jacob Robinson knocks him out of play, a gain of 6.
And this is when you see that rhythm. What's he doing, Gus? He's just taking what the defense gives him. BYU blitzes again on that side of the field. He just gives it to the running back. Risano picks it up, and now it's an easier conversion opportunity for Arizona. 5th time they've gotten inside the 30-yard line. They've only got 10 points. Got to execute, got to move the chains.
3rd down and 3 at the 14 of BYU for Arizona. Fafita drops it off. First down, Cats. Sam Olsen with the catch. And that keeps the chains moving for Zona.
I tell you, Isaiah Glasker is going to have a free look at the quarterback right here, but Fafita just pumps him a little bit, and that pump gets him in the air. Fafita is able to just duck down and now get the first down. Beautiful job. Quarterback's out there. You get a free runner at you, just pump the ball ever so slightly. Defenders are, as a coach used to tell me, like trained seals. You pump the ball, they'll jump up right in the air for you.
20 of 34, 227, and a touchdown for Fafita. 15th play of the drive. 1st and goal at the 8. Sideline throw. This one caught. Devin Hyatt out of bounds inside the BYU 5. Knocked out a play by Crew Wakely. A gain of 5.
Man, Wakely was flying over there. You talk about pursuit from that safety position. I thought Hyatt was going to have a chance to step towards that pylon and get in, and that was closed down by Crew Wakely.
These safeties for BYU, Wakely and Tanner Wall, will knock you into tomorrow. 2nd down and goal at the 3. Can Arizona pay it off? Conley, the single setback. Play fake. Fafita in the end zone. Incomplete. That one thrown a little bit high for Devin Hyatt. And that'll bring up 3rd down and goal, and this has to be 4-down territory.
I would think. I know that it's 3 possessions, so you could take the 3 now, but they haven't gotten it down here inside the 5 on really any of these possessions.
Just the feel good.
Man, I would think it's 4-down territory. We'll see. A sack would take them out of that, obviously. You know, they've been better when Fafita has been outside of the pocket, Gus. Do they get him outside of the pocket here, maybe on the move towards the right?
Using his legs, it could be effective. 17th play of the drive coming up. 3rd down and goal at the 3. Fafita, here comes the pressure. Fafita rolling out. Fafita backs it up. Off his back foot, incomplete. That'll bring up 4th down and goal. And the field goal unit has not come on the field as of yet.
I think they're going to jog out now. And he's going to take the 3. Try to get the points right now. 3 possessions. Take the field goal. Feel good about the offensive series.
So Tyler Loop, good today from 47 yards. This one from 21 yards away. And it's good. 27-13, 9:02 to play in the 4th. a 27-13 game. He's the kicker for Arizona. This kind of guy that the Raiders might draft. Remember, the Raiders have drafted 2 kickers in the first round. Ray Guy, the Hall of Famer. Sebastian Janikowski drafted in 2000, 17th overall. He had an illustrious career. This kid's got an incredible leg. Just listen to the sound of the ball when it comes off of his foot. Folks, they say he can kick at 70, 75 yards, especially here in high altitude. Still trying to figure out how to control it because it is definitely a weapon. But listen to the sound of this, if you can. Boom. And he drives this out of the end zone. 27-13, BYU with the football when we come back.
So it's going to come down
to years. Well, this was the first play of the second half for Arizona, and Jacob Robinson with the tip pick. They set up the offense inside the 10-yard line, and Retzloff would pay it off. Chase Roberts with a touchdown. Right after that, BYU led it 21-7 at that point. They would tack on another, and it's 27-13.
First down and 10 to the 25, play action. Retzloff, near side, caught. Nicely done. Lassiter with the move after the catch. Still on the move, and he'll go down. At the Arizona 35, 40-yard gain.
Yeah, nice route here from Lassiter. And I'm telling you, when BYU can sit in the play-action game, that's when they're at their best. When you look at what Retzloff has done during the course of the year, Gus, he's got 8 touchdowns, only 1 interception at 12 yards per attempt when it's in play action. You see him right there. He's shooting the bow down the field. The arrow, I should say, down the field, and off of play action, he's one of the best in the country.
I tell you, this Darius Lassiter is nice. What a player. First and 10 at the 37. Retzloff. He'll hand it off. Not a lot this time for Ropati. Let's go downstairs and check in with Jen.
Well, there was a big question coming into this game how BYU center Bruce Mitchell would perform his first start. Well, we got to give a little credit to the injured center, Connor Pay. He and Mitchell watched so much film this week. Now, he told me before the game, my goal today is to be a coach and motivator. You see him there. He's obviously giving everyone some love, including Coach going into the locker room. They have been working one-on-one every single moment they can. He's got to be proud of what Bruce Mitchell has done today.
Thank you very much, Dan. It's just nice to be around offensive linemen, folks. They're the foundation of every team. And they're jolly, and they're humble, they're unselfish. Tell you what, BYU has 2 basketball players that are playing on the offensive line, a 6'9" and a 6'8".
Yeah, they are tall on the edge.
Left tackle and right tackle, Etienne, 76. He's from New Orleans.
Braden Keim on the other side. And we talked to Etienne. He's 6'8". We walked in and we're like, geez, you're huge. And he goes like, yeah, Keim's got me by an inch. He's 6'9". It's like, wow. Wow. They've performed well, haven't they?
No doubt about it. 3rd down and 1 at the 28. And they pick up the first down. A little bit more. What a run to the outside. L.J. Martin carrying the bread. 16-yard gain.
Great movement up front by that offensive line. A big hole for L.J. Martin, and he's able to step away from the tackle of Genesis Smith, and then a nice spin and gains more yards again. He comes back into the lineup. L.J. Martin, he's their best back, and they felt like they would run the football better today than they have previously this season.
Looks like a face mask maybe at the end of his play. There it is right there.
That's the call. And now you look up. You know, and it hasn't looked spectacular, has it, Gus? But you look up at the stat sheet right now. 6 a carry for BYU. 21 rushes, 129 yards, 6.1 per carry. You know what that is when it doesn't look flashy? It's the offensive line. Making and creating holes, winning the line of scrimmage. You got to credit Bruce Mitchell in his first start and all those guys up front for what they've done in front of Retzloff as well as L.J. Martin.
First down and goal at the 6-yard line. Let's see if they run Etienne's way, which is left. No, they run right. A little slip. Did they get in? Marion? No, he didn't. No signal. So it looks like he's down inside the 1. Keelan Marion.
Someone needs to tell him his foot is not the football. Watch this. So he's going towards the pylon, and he's like, oh, let me get inside the... They'll say that doesn't count. The football needs to go over the pylon, not the left shoe.
Marion thought that would be an optical illusion to the official. Didn't work.
The official's like, I got in.
I got in. Some part of it. 2nd down and goal at the 1.
More importantly, look at the clock that they've been able to burn on this series.
4 on the play clock. Looks like BYU will take a timeout, and they do. Kalani Sitake will huddle his guys up on the sideline, up 27-13, and ready to punch it in.
I'm your football-obsessed best man, and I think you having your big day during the...
Welcome back. 27-13, 5:43 to play in the 4th. BYU trying to make it to 6-0, ranked 14th in the nation right now. And they're facing a 2nd down and goal at the 1. Bunch formation. Straight ahead handoff. Touchdown, Cougs. L.J. Martin.
Scoring on the play for the Cougars, number 27,
33-13.
Boy, that offensive line doing work up front. Watch them block down, down, down. Then you get the pull and the pull from the H-back and the extra offensive lineman in, and it just opens up perfectly. Kick out. L.J. Martin just sniffs out that goal line, and it's a touchdown for BYU.
Largest lead of the game right now for BYU. How about Caleb Etienne? Number 76, that left tackle, all 6'8" of them. A nice block to open up the hole. BYU taking a 34-13 lead. Etienne, he's from New Orleans, folks. We talked to him yesterday, and he said, I got to make it to the NFL. And I said, why, young man? He said, because I got to get my mom and my sisters and brothers out of the bottom. I got to provide a better life for them. My mother did everything for us, raised us by herself. He started at Oklahoma State, transferred here to BYU. He's one of their leaders. And he said, if I don't make it to the NFL, I got to get into security. I think I could do really well there. I think you could too, bro. You're 6'8", and you're pretty strong looking.
Is it pretty?
I don't think, right.
Oh my goodness. He did say though, he's got a younger brother who's 10 years old who's playing football now. And he says, yeah, my little brother tries to give me tips.
That's right. As well he should.
Like, that's great, man.
Because I got a feeling that little brother going to be a big brother one day. I mean, a big, big brother. Just like his big brother. Barrett sends it away. And out of the end zone. Let's go downstairs and check in with Jen.
We've discussed the culture for BYU throughout the day, Gus, and I had a chance to go to practice on Thursday, talk to so many of these players. They all shared one example of why this team has come so close. They actually went on a camping trip, Provo Canyon. Now, Coach Sitake loved it because there were no cell phone service. Everyone just needed to come together and share their stories. Chase Roberts told me it was a moment for us to share our struggle, our sacrifice, why we are doing this for each other. There's so much love and respect on this program, and really, it's on display. They're doing something special this year, Gus.
You know what I don't like about Jenny, Joel?
Wait, what?
You know what I don't like about her?
You better watch out.
She outworks us all the time. She's in here on Wednesday.
If you were going to say something actually negative, you might have seen some hands.
Oh my goodness, don't hurt me, Hannah.
I tell you though, yeah, Jenny's fantastic. She's always so prepared, best in the business.
But back-to-back weeks, we've been in the mountains. So what we need to do is start coming in a day early and going on our retreat, our camping trip.
Dude,
Happy Valley last week, Provo this week. Come on.
I'll tell you what, I'll just start with the vulnerability right here in front of America. I'm from Denver, Colorado, never been camping.
Oh,
so I am not your guy.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. My dad was Marine. He said, I will never sleep outside in my life. And I said, deal. And that's the way it was.
Wow.
Everyone in Colorado would be like, oh, hey, let's go hiking. And I was like, do you mean like a walk on dirt?
Here's a handoff. Nice run. Resino, Jenny.
So, Gus, are you telling me that you would be good as a camper? You'd be okay out there?
Yeah, wait.
No, I don't like bugs. I'm sorry.
So wait,
I don't want to fish.
I'm not the only one.
I don't like mosquitoes. I don't like creepy, crawly things. I'd like to go camping at the Four Seasons.
Oh,
That'd be good for me.
Jenny, you're the toughest person on the crew.
No doubt about it.
No doubt.
But women always are tougher. First down and 10 at the 45. Does camping come with room service, Jen? I don't know. Fafita delivers, almost intercepted. Well done play. Isaiah Glasgow steps in the passing lane and knocks that one down.
He's been all over the field. That front seven has been all over the field. Man, almost had himself a pick right there. Glasgow is a guy that I think he's got a bright future. He's 6'5", Gus, about 230 pounds. And when I watch tape, he kind of pops off the tape because of that length and the speed, and that was a great example right there.
Second and long. Fafita in trouble! And he is knocked down, incomplete, lot of pressure. Ice Moa in the backfield.
Man, this front seven is relentless. I tell you what helps them is that they're so deep. They've got a veteran core of guys, but they will rotate 5, 6, 7, 8 guys up front. You see Ice Moa, he comes in, redshirt sophomore from North Ogden, just north of Salt Lake City. And he comes in and he's fresh and runs down Fafita.
Third down and 10 to the 45. Fafita over the middle. Wide open receiver. Patterson. And he'll gain 18. Glasgow drops him. Arizona still fighting.
Noah Fafita has just been under a tremendous amount of pressure. Now, obviously, we've seen some of the mistakes, but he's been hurried 20 times. He's been hit 10 times today. This front seven for BYU, just constant pressure.
Sideline throw and incomplete. The schedule gets easier for Arizona at the end of the year. Houston, TCU, Arizona State, their last 3 games.
Pass interference, number 2, defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's Collins.
I mean, think of what Arizona has had to do here early in this season. They had to go to Kansas State, they lost. They had to go to Utah, they won that game. Now they've had to come to BYU, they had to play Texas Tech, they've got Colorado next. So that first half of the season has been quite a test for the Wildcats.
Colorado at home.
Colorado will be in Tucson.
First and 10 to the 26. Fafita in trouble. Gets it away. Not a big gain as Taggart makes the tackle on Resino. And a face mask coming up. Flag on the play. BYU with 10 quarterback hits today. Ooh. Man. As Keith Jackson would say, these young men.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 19. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
These young men are made of rubber and steel.
Well, let's see, we're sitting here 47. The number is right above that. 34-13 Arizona behind BYU here inside of almost 3.5 minutes, Gus.
From the 12, first down. Fafita. Incomplete.
Great coverage down the field. BYU runs a lot of man coverage, and we talked about Jay Hill a little bit earlier, the defensive coordinator, and he said that what has paid off for this group is one, their buy-in, but two, that they're veteran. They've been in this defense now for 2 years. It allows him to do a lot of different things, and we've seen that pay off because they're constantly using different styles of pressure. They can play man coverage in the back end, and it's very confusing for the quarterback.
2nd and 10 at the 12-yard line. They'll stay on the ground this time. Conley, and he'll get a first down inside the 1-yard line.
Now the 6th time Arizona has been inside the 30. They've only got the 13 points.
Quickly to the line of scrimmage, 1st and goal. They say at the 2. Here's another run and a touchdown for the Cats. Quali Conley gets in the end zone. 34-19. 2:58 to play in the 4th.
They'll go for 2 right here. And then with the 2-minute timeout and the 3 timeouts, Arizona trying to just squeeze as many possessions as they could possibly get, looking at maybe an onside at some point here.
So they go for it. Looking for 2. Fafita sets. Caught in the back of the end zone. BYU says no. And that was Lamonius Craig.
Fafita held it, finally outside of the pocket. Lamonius Craig gets that foot down, but didn't quite have control through the process of contacting the ground, and it's incomplete.
He did not. Well, it's a primetime showdown on Fox College Football Friday. Heisman contender Dylan Gabriel leads 3rd-ranked Oregon against Purdue. It all kicks off Friday night at 8 Eastern on Fox. Oregon with a huge win today against the world-famous number 2-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes. Who do you like in that game?
I kind of like Ohio State in that game. Oregon has just, they have not been very consistent on offense. Ohio State, I don't even think has shown 3rd gear of what they could do. They're so talented. Defensively, they're strong. Being on the road is going to be tough. And Autzen Stadium, is going to be crazy. But
and you know what? What the fact is about Autzen Stadium? It never rains at Autzen Stadium in Eugene, Oregon.
You have to get an onside here.
And they will not get it as BYU covers it up last with a flag on the play out. Under 3 minutes to go in the 4th. So for BYU, let's take a look at what's ahead for them.
Offside. Kicking team number 4. 5-yard penalty. Will be out at the end of the play. 1st down.
Beginning of the year, BYU predicted to finish 13th in a 16-team league in the Big 12. So they're going to start this season 6-0 as you take a look at their schedule.
I'm telling you, man, this is real now. Now it starts to get real. You're 6-0. Oklahoma State is reeling. Central Florida, same. Then you can get an off week if you're Kalani before the huge showdown here against the rival Utah Utes. Kansas is not what we have expected them to be. I think what becomes the most difficult test then is obviously at Utah and at Arizona State.
Here's a big run.
Oh, ball's out.
Ropety. And Arizona says they have the football.
Wow. Well, hold on a second now, because there is enough time here, and that's a clean punch out right there by the safety. Genesis Smith does a great job punching that ball out. Ropety puts it on the ground. Arizona recovers, and the yardage is not the same, but boy, might as well have recovered the onside kick, and now the offense right back down onto the field. Arizona still has their timeouts left. They've got the 2-minute timeout. So 4 chances to stop the clock here. in a two-possession game, this is when you've got to, as a play caller and a quarterback, you've got to understand at what point is kind of drop dead for going in there and trying to get the score. You got to put a marker out there. They got to score with about a minute 20, a minute 15 left.
Fafita checks it down to Conley. He'll get out of bounds. 34-19. First turnover of the game for BYU.
I think it would be a mistake for BYU to start playing safe coverage. I know it's a two-possession game, but what has worked for them is pressuring the quarterback, playing tight coverage, and you'll see a pressure right here.
Fafita got out of trouble and just threw this one at the feet of the intended target. That's Devin Hyatt.
And Jay Hill was thinking the exact same thing I was thinking is, hey, don't go away from what got you here. And that was a pressure, and so they were able to bring a pressure right here from the short side. That was number 2, Mark Collins, the corner. And that's why Noah Fafita had to pull that ball down, and now Collins will exit the field.
3rd down and 6. Fafita. And he'll just step out of bounds at the line of scrimmage. Secondary has done a nice job today for BYU.
Just not space to throw the football. McMillan is having a hard time getting open. They've got him double covered. There's someone on top of number 4 at all times. They don't consistently have somebody else that can win and create space against man coverage, and you wind up in these 4th down situations. We're going to get a timeout here, or excuse me, a 2-minute timeout.
34-19. Back to Provo in a moment. Football sponsored by Geico. Get more with Geico. 2 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. BYU trying to hold on to this lead, 34-19. Arizona refusing to die. 4th down and 6 at the 36. Noah Fafita.
Get a blitz here, Gus. Here we go. Here's the blitz.
Here they come. Fafita in trouble. Makes the first man miss. On 4th down, incomplete. And Arizona will turn it over on downs. And BYU will improve to 6-0.
I think this is a mistake by the offense. I told you that the blitz was coming. You could see by the alignment that the blitz was coming here, and yet the offensive line slides that way. You got to direct the line. It's 4th down. You got to direct the line over to that side where the blitz is going to come so that you can protect yourself and get the ball down the field to get the line to gain. A mistake there from Arizona at a critical juncture, and now BYU back on the field offensively.
First 6-0 start for BYU since 2020 when they started 9-0. A minute and 53 remaining. And the handoff. Martin, who's had a wonderful game coming back from that ankle injury. Time permitting, don't forget to join Mike Hill and the guys for College Football Extra, sponsored by Defender.
Arizona still has their 3 timeouts, so they will get the ball back. It's just the fact that they're just not going to have much time at all. And obviously any points or a first down for BYU, and that would salt it away.
A lot of good stuff going on here at BYU athletically. This football team starting 6-0. They're really excited about their basketball team. Kevin Young comes over from the Phoenix Suns, where he's the associate head coach. He's now the head coach of the basketball team. Ryan Smith, the owner of the Jazz, and Danny Ainge, the boss of the Jazz, made sure they got a good man, and he brought in a kid by the name of Yegor Denham, 6'9" wing guy. Comes out of that Real Madrid, Luka Doncic world. And they say he is a heck of a player. It's going to set things on fire here at BYU at the Marriott Center. There's a handoff. Not a lot of room for Martin. Arizona will burn another timeout.
Second charge timeout, Pat.
So let's look at the AP top 10. Texas, Ohio State, Oregon. They'll face each other. Penn State taking on USC.
Yeah, they just got to win. Overtime, field goal in overtime, won it for Penn State, 33-30.
Southern California, welcome to the Big Ten.
Georgia 10-point win over Mississippi State. Bama struggled mightily. South Carolina had a chance for a 2-point conversion to tie that game and unable to get it done. Clemson offensively, I'm telling you, man, they lost that early game to Georgia. Watch out for Clemson.
How about Dabo Swinney? As he decided, no, we're not going to go into transfer portal. We're going to continue to stick with our guys and develop them.
Dabo is unapologetically himself, is he not?
It looks like he knows what he's doing. 5-1. And just like Kalani Sitake.
How about Texas?
How about Texas? And wait until next year when Arch Manning gets to run the show. I tell you what, looking at this Arch Manning partner, he looks like the ace of diamonds.
Doesn't look good.
He's got his uncle's arm and his granddaddy's legs.
He won't have that offensive line in front of him, though.
He'll find somebody. It's Texas.
I'm sure they will. You're right.
I'm sure there's some guys in waiting.
Second charge timeout, BYU. 30 seconds.
Retzloff has had a very solid game for BYU.
Yeah, he has, and he's leading this BYU team. Let's face it, they've been a really pleasant surprise this year in college football, and there's been a number of them, by the way. You kind of take a look at some of the surprise teams around the sport. Matt Campbell's Iowa State team is 5-0. BYU 5-0. Boise State with Ashton Genty is tremendous at 4-1.
How about Indiana?
How about that? Kurt Signetti, what he's doing. We'll be there next week as Nebraska takes on Indiana. And what I think is so great for BYU is that their resume looks so good right now with the win over SMU, with the win over Kansas State. Those are the only 2 losses that those 2 teams have. So, Gus, even just, yeah, they can win the conference and go to the college football playoff. If you look at BYU's schedule moving forward,
they could run the table.
They could, and in that respect, they might not even have to win the conference championship in order to get into the college football playoff because they would have such a strong resume with some of those wins. Now, obviously, they would want Kansas State to continue to win and SMU to continue to win. They would have to take care of business themselves. But this team is a real team. They're veteran, they're rugged, and if they don't turn the ball over offensively, they're going to have a chance to win because that defense creates mistakes on the opposing offense. We've seen that today. We've seen that against Kansas State earlier this year in this building. They're going to be tough to beat, man. And especially with L.J. Martin back, 27. I know, like, he didn't go off today, Gus, but he's been good. And that with Rapati, even though Rapati had the fumble, Retzloff running the football, their ability to create some passing game off of the play action. I tell you, this guy at home, Retzloff, just doesn't make mistakes. Good luck beating BYU in this building. Retzloff, another home game, no interceptions. All of his interceptions have been on the road.
I was just sitting down with him yesterday at their facility. Just a really pleasant young man, a confident young man. Told us about nutrition. We asked him, what supplement should we be taking? He said, you got to get on some creatine. I was like, ooh, that sounds good.
Oh, beautiful. What execution there from the punt team.
And that'll put Arizona deep in their own territory with 1:32 to go.
So Vandehar just punts it to Cody Hagan, who catches it at the 1. How about that? Kalani Sitake, that might be the play he's most excited about after the game. That's how head coaches work. That's a great job right there.
Kalani Sitake turned 49 years old this week. And after that 5-7 season a year ago, he returns this team with a vengeance. 6-0 if they're able to hold on for this final 132. And Arizona has a first down and 10 at their own 1-yard line. They'll throw it. Oh, Fafita. Did he step out of the back of the end zone? No, he didn't. No flag. Looks like his foot was close.
Rest easy, Dan Orlovsky. No one's joining you. Almost. We almost had an Orlovsky here in Provo. Fafita's got better spatial awareness. Dan's my former teammate. Love Dan.
34-19. Second down and 10. Fafita. Hit as he throws and incomplete.
Jeez, man, he is taking huge hits. I mean, you do not want to be taking these types of hits.
That's the Batman again getting into the backfield. Tyler Batty. 13 hits today.
Man.
And he's running full speed, Joe.
That is, I can just tell you from experience, that is miserable.
Hot tub tomorrow.
Cold tub, hot tub, icy hot, all of it.
Third down and 10. Fafita airs it out. Sideline throw and incomplete. No flag on the play. This one intended for Hunter.
I will give Noah Fafita this, Gus. His coaches will tell us this. I believe it. This guy is a tremendous human being. Never once today, with all the cameras we have, never once have you seen him gripe at his offensive line. I've never seen him turn around, yell at a teammate with all this pressure around him. He just gets back. He just gets back up and leads his team. He's a tremendous human, and that's one of the reasons why his teammates love him.
Fourth down and 10 at the 1 for Arizona.
False start. Offense number 60. Out the distance to the goal. Still fourth down.
Fourth down and 10. Maybe the final play for this Arizona Wildcat offense. Fafita steps up. Fafita hit as he throws and intercepted. Glasgow, touchdown BYU! Exclamation point. Third interception of the game for BYU.
Fitting the defense ends this half with an exclamation point like that with another turnover. This defense has been stifling. They have played terrific football, giving up a few yards here and there, but my goodness, when they need to make a play, they have made it.
41-19. What a start to the season. Something very special brewing here in Provo, in the shadows of the Wasatch Mountains, the western edge of the Rocky Mountains. Kalani Sitake's team, perfect so far, and they're 102 away from win number 6.
Gonna be a tough team to beat. Tell you what,
confidence.
Yeah, they're confident, they're tough. Kalani's doing a heck of a job. They are together. They've got the culture. They've got veterans, playmakers, getting healthier. They did this with a patchwork offensive line now today. You might be looking at the favorite in the Big 12 Conference right here.
It's open. It's up for grabs. And BYU is right there.
Man, I tell you, man, I love this expanded playoff. Gus.
It's going to be fun.
It just makes everything so much more real, you know? It makes it alive. College football is alive. You're sitting in Provo and Kalani Sitake and his bunch alive for it all. You know, like we're talking about everything here. That's what I love about college football this year is it is real for all these people in the stands, for those players on the sidelines and their coaches. I love it.
Sometimes they get it right.
Hey, man, few and far between.
And we'll hear more about that on the Joel Klatt Show, the Joel Klatt Podcast. Inside the Huddle, what else you got, buddy? Howard Stern over here, sitting next to me. This guy, king of all media.
Man, I'll tell you what.
41-19. There's a Batman, Tyler Batty, 25 years old. He said, everybody's saying when we come back from our mission, we're older. But when I came back from my mission in Madrid, of all places, he wasn't in a third world country, digging ditches and building bridges. He was proselytizing in Madrid. He said, I was 30 pounds lighter.
Yeah.
I had a penciled neck.
He said it was difficult. Now, I don't believe that when he's lined up against a 19-year-old or 20-year-old that guy's going to care. He's like, hey, man, you're 25. Right?
Love this guy. Dad was a cowboy, is a cowboy, grew up riding horses. They say he said his first picture of being on a horse, he was it 2 years old?
Yeah,
There's
2
Dad.
years old. That's Dad. His name's Lane. He said, my dad's name is Lane. And I was like, oh, yeah, he's a cowboy.
That's right. 55 seconds. Here's a handoff as Arizona throws up the white flag. They'll get out of bounds and stop the clock after the first down. 14-yard gain. Up next for the Cats, Colorado at home. Followed by West Virginia at home. Another handoff straight ahead this time. That'll allow the clock to run out. The BYU Cougars take care of business. There's Arizona's schedule. Colorado, West Virginia at home. Then they'll travel to UCF. Coach Brennan's team fought hard. Just not enough bullets in the gun today. No.
They don't have to snap it here if they don't want to. Which is probably smart to just not snap it. Go shake hands. BYU 6-0.
And you're absolutely right. That'll do it. 41-19 the final. BYU improves to 6-0. Their first 6-0 start since 2020 when they started the season 9-0. Jake Retzlaff, solid. A leader. This defense with BYU, Joel, it was really the difference today.
Yeah, it really was. And it's been the difference all year long in their